Here's what I'm going to do. And good evening from Magness Arena in the University of Denver hockey. This is the 2024 Colorado State High School 5A Hockey Championship. I'm Manny Furtado. I'm joined by Charlie Host. Charlie, tonight the Regis Jesuit Raiders have a chance to break a 5-year drought and win their 7th state title. But in order to do so, they're going to need to beat their arch rival and nemesis, the Valor Christian Eagles.
Yeah, it's a great matchup. It's one that a lot of folks have been looking forward to for a long, long time. And man, as you talk about Regis and what this game means to them coming in, you're exactly right. Last time Regis won the state championship back in 2018 against Valor. They won it back-to-back. They actually won it in 18 and 2019. But in 2018, Regis beat Valor 2-0 in the state championship, and that was a part of a run for Regis where from 2008 all the way until 2019, 12 years of high school hockey where Regis won 6 of the 12 state championships. They won a national championship. Regis was absolutely dominant. Now their last title, 2019, so they are hungry to get a title once again here tonight.
And during that time, they were coached by head coach Dan Woodley, but he had Terry Ott with him. Terry Ott is now in his second year, so Terry Ott in his second year has gotten Regis back to this championship level.
Yeah, and we had a chance to chat with Terry Ott a little bit, and Regis and Valor tend to butt heads somewhere along the way in these playoffs. And this year, they're on opposite sides of the bracket, if you will, so by the time they are meeting one another, it's here in the 2024 State High School Championship game.
George Gwozdecky, the name resonates with all hockey fans in Colorado. And when you look at George Gwozdecky, he had 42 years of coaching experience. He was in his 5th year at that time coaching Valor, and he brought Valor back. And now here he is. After 9 years, he has won 3 straight titles.
Well, the reign that was Regis now is Valor's, and Valor over the last 5 years has been a participant in this state championship game, including this year. Now 5 straight years for Valor to be in this championship game. Of the 4 previous championships, Valor has won 3 of them. They are on an absolute run, have been dominant in the state, have really had success in this game, and so they are really the reigning champs because they won it last year. They look to continue to hold that championship, but they have a foe in Regis who is eager to knock them off.
So we look at the keys to the game now, and we've got Regis. And with Regis, it starts with their forwards, and in particular, Ian Beck.
Yeah, as Ian Beck goes, so does Regis. And it was interesting. We had a chance to chat with Coach Ott prior to tonight's game, and he said he is absolutely confident that Ian Beck is going to be ready to go, and as long as he's ready to go, Regis offensively will be in good shape.
He's on that top line. He leads the team with 22 points and 13 goals. He's got Nolan Williams, and he's got Pat Parker Brenner. Both of those players complement him well.
Yeah, it's a great line. You've got a forechecker, and you've got a passer, and then you've got Ian Beck, who's a finisher. It's a great top line for Regis.
Secondly, you look at the keys to the game, and you have to talk about the goaltending. The goaltending, you know him well. Give us a little insight.
Yeah, the freshman goalie for Regis, Easton Sparks, I do know him well. I've been around him for a long time through his youth hockey playing days. He is no stranger to big games, and he rises to the occasion. So don't be fooled by him being a freshman. He's going to be ready for this one. He'll be ready for the moment, and he'll be ready to backstop Regis in this championship game.
And I think it reminds us of another goaltender who started as a freshman, and that would be none other than Cooper Robinson.
Yeah, on the other side, the keys for Valor, equally their goaltending. Coach Gwozdecky has a tough decision tonight. 2 goalies that have really backstopped the Eagles all season long. They've split time. A guy in Robinson who's been there, he's done it. He's been to 3 championships, won 2 of them. But then they have another goaltender who came on this year in
Trudeau
Coffee,
Yep.
who's played half the games, and he has been absolutely spectacular as well. So a very strong tandem in net for Coach Gwozdecky and the Eagles. We'll see who gets the start here tonight.
So the other key to the game, as far as Valor's concerned, is they need to score some goals. And they've got a line with a couple of brothers on it, and it's hard to beat brothers when they get on the ice together.
Yeah, Maddox Charles is the younger of the two brothers. He's a sophomore. Carter Charles is the senior, and they do have that brother dynamic where they look for one another, they feed off of one another, and they help lead this Valor Eagles team offensively. And Maddox Charles, even though he's a sophomore, arguably one of the most talented hockey players in high school hockey in the state of Colorado this season. He will be a lot of fun to watch here in this game tonight.
Maddox Charles is on a tear. He's got 4 goals in 2 games, including a hat trick in these playoffs. And the Charles brothers are no strangers to coming up big in big games. Jamison Charles, their older brother, scored the game-winning goal 3 years ago versus Fort Collins in Fort Collins, and he sniped a shot, and that was the game-winning goal. Jamison Charles, we'll see if the Charles brothers have it in them tonight.
Yeah, the lights are shining bright tonight, so we'll see who steps up for each team.
And with that, I had a chance to sit down with both respective coaches, George Gwozdecky and Terry Ott, and we're going to bring those interviews to you now at this time. We're about a half hour away from the puck drop, and we look forward to hearing what the coaches have to say. Welcome back to Magness Arena for the Colorado High School Hockey 5A Championship game between Regis Jesuit and Valor Christian. I'm joined now by George Gwozdecky, now in his 9th year with Valor as head coach and in his 42nd year of coaching. Coach, welcome to the booth here.
Thank you very much, Manny. Good to be with you.
Thank you. Coach, this is a familiar matchup and one that I think everybody has been wanting to see in a championship game. The last time you met Regis Jesuit in a championship game was back in 2018. Regis won that game 2-0.
I think that was our first state championship
It was.
game. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
But after that, the next year, Regis went on to beat Dakota Ridge. But after that, it has been all Valor. And Regis has not been back to the championship since then. So for the last 5 years, Valor has won 3 of the last 4, I should say, this being the 5th year here in 2024, defeating Fort Collins, not once, but twice. Denver Easton won the championship versus Valor, and then Valor beats Ralston Valley. You're the defending champion. So 3 out of the last 4 years, you've won it. Now you get an opportunity to play Regis again. Every one of those teams has different characteristics. How would you describe briefly the characteristics of this team coming in, which is largely a new cast of characters from last year's senior laden team that won the championship?
Well, certainly we took a big hit last year in losing 13 seniors, most of them who played vital roles in our team in winning the title last year. So there was a lot of unknowns this year. We had both goaltenders coming back. That was one of the things that we were hoping that would be a strength, and it certainly has evolved into that. Our goaltenders, I like to refer them as to the two-headed monster. Trudeau Coffee and Cooper Robinson have been outstanding for us and probably have made us look better at times than we really are. But they have been really, really good. And their numbers, their statistical numbers are, both of them are in the top, top 5 of goaltenders at the 5A level. They have rotated pretty much throughout the fall season, but the CHSAA season. And they pretty much give us a chance every game to be successful. So that's where we start. The thing that's really been maybe a surprise to me is how impactful some of our forwards have been. Carter Charles, Maddox Charles and Ronan Hirschfield make up one line, and they've been very dynamic. And then Dan Galushko, Drew Jenkins, and Brock Benson. None of these 6 guys have played together at all until this year. And we've just been able to find the right combinations with those 6 guys. They've developed chemistry, and so we're a hard team to play against just because of those 2 lines. If you try to match up with one line, the other line has a little bit more freedom to be able to do what they want to do. But those top 2 lines have led us offensively, are part of our special teams, and done a real good job for us.
These 2 storied programs, obviously with the retirement of Coach Woodley and Terry Ott now coming in for Regis, there's a long history between the coaches, the teams. There's a mutual respect, and we see it certainly after the game. Talk about how you sort of your relationship with Regis and how that has evolved here, and now you have Terry Ott, who's a longtime Regis coach, but is now at the helm. Talk about how that's developed.
Well, Terry Ott and Dan Woodley, I'll be really honest with you, they deserve all the credit for helping Valor pick themselves up and becoming competitive. Because when I got to Valor, I thought I knew what I was doing. I didn't have a clue. High school athletics is so different than the collegiate level or the collegiate world or the professional world. And in so many ways, I was not prepared at all. And, I was so fortunate to practice, to get to know Dan and Terry and practice at the Ice Ranch back in those days, and to be able to just ask them the most, I'm sure they thought they were ridiculous questions that I would ask them. But, they were there to be able to help. And I think both of those guys realized to have a competitive team like Valor will, when one boat raises, or when the tide raises, all the boats rise. And to be able to have another program come up and be competitive with the powerhouses like Regis and Monarch and Cherry Creek is good for the game at the high school level. And so they were very unselfish with their help, with their advice, with their suggestions, even to the point of offering us ice time where yours truly wouldn't have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to be at the rink by 6 to be able to practice. We could get reasonable ice time during the day. And so I give them great credit for helping Valor's program to become more competitive and to learn from them and try to imitate what Regis did over the years. And I'm very grateful for that.
Do we need to be on camera?
As I mentioned,
I have audio
everybody
back.
in the Colorado hockey world has wanted to see this matchup as a final. They have waited 7 long years for this to happen one more time. Coach, we wish you the best. Puck drop is just around the corner for us here in just a few minutes. Thank you very much for taking the time with us, and we wish you and your team the best this evening in tonight's championship game.
Well, as they say at both schools, we're looking forward to the Holy War. Thanks, Manny.
Let the Holy War begin. Here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Coach.
My pleasure.
And welcome back to Magness Arena for the 5A high school championship game. And Charlie, we've talked about this game. These two teams have been on a collision course the entire season. They met 2 times during the regular season, and those 2 games ended up, they each won 1 game.
Which leads us to the rubber match of all rubber matches, which is a state championship game. So to your point, each team won 1 during the regular season, and now you look for who's going to be the last team standing, if you will, and they get the ultimate matchup, seeing each other here again in this state championship game.
And what a great atmosphere that we have. We have Regis. They're coming in as the home designated team. They were the number 1 seed in the CHSAA season, end of season rankings. And Regis comes in their familiar white jerseys with Regis Jesuit script across the chest and trimmed out in red with red breezers and red helmets. And the Regis crowd are all dressed in white to our right-hand side. And a familiar place for you to look at, that is the DU bench over there that Regis is able to occupy.
Yeah, the home team being Regis, since they are the number 1 seed, they have earned the right to be on the home bench here at Magness Arena, where the Pioneers hold fort when they have their home games here. And then Valor will be on the visitor bench as they come out. And of course, their head coach, George Gwozdecky, longtime coach here at the University of Denver. And he's been in this building a few times with the Valor Eagles, so that is not unfamiliar to him. But from his days here as a head coach with the Pioneers, he's not used to being on that visitor bench.
He's not, and last year he was on the home bench, and they won it as they beat Ralston Valley here at this in the final contest for the championship. And you're absolutely right. He's not used to being on the visitor bench, but the halls echo with him as he spent 19 years here and won 2 national titles.
Just an amazing run for him while he was here with the Pioneers, and now he's on a great run with the Valor Eagles. And he looks to continue that run, and his team looks to continue that run here tonight. And certainly Coach Ott and Regis have something to say about that, and they've had a great season of their own right, and it really is fitting that these 2 teams are matching up here for the championship game. And one of the things that I just really like about state championships is looking at it historically and just what it means in the context of the state and where hockey is, where it has been, where it is going, the growth of the game at the high school level, holding championships here at Magness Arena. Wasn't that many years ago, you wouldn't have really thought about this type of a venue and this type of an event at the high school level, and it's only going to continue to build and grow from here.
High school hockey in Colorado has come such a long way. You look at the history of it, as you mentioned. Cheyenne Mountain by far and away has more championships, and Cheyenne Mountain now competes in that 4A level, and they've come back and have done well themselves. But you look back at that, and Regis, it was Dan Woodley that really put the stamp on Regis, and interestingly, we heard from Coach Gwozdecky talking about how not only Dan Woodley but Terry Ott welcomed George Gwozdecky into the coaching ranks in the high school. And as George said, he said, I didn't understand high school hockey, what it meant, and how he was able to, but he's made such an impact, and he gives a lot of credit to Dan Woodley and Terry Ott of Regis.
Well, it speaks volumes about Dan Woodley and Terry Ott welcoming someone like George Gwozdecky into the high school ranks and into that fraternity, if you will, for a lack of a better description. And a guy like Coach Gwozdecky only raises the bar that much further at the high school level, and we've seen it. We've seen it, what he's done with his own program, but you're also starting to see it more and more throughout programs around the state in the development of hockey at the high school level. And
of course, you look at George Gwozdecky on the bench, and you talk to the coaches around him, and of course, Adrian Wiedemann was a player here, just as you were a player. You know his prep for a game, and it is no different the amount of time that he puts in prep-wise for a high school game as he put in for the college games as well. It's phenomenal. Yeah, no question. And I played at DU. 3 of my 4 years were under head coach George Gwozdecky. So he and I go back a long, long way, and I've seen him operate and how he works as a head coach, as a former player of his way back in the day. And you're right, whether it was at DU, he ultimately went to the Tampa Bay Lightning and coached there for a couple of years as an assistant, then came back to Colorado and has taken the Valor program
from really wondering if it was going to continue to state championship caliber year in and year out.
Both of these programs have been able to send teams to the national high school tournament as well. And Regis, in fact, has won a national championship, as does East High School. East High School won it several years ago with the team that won the state high school championship. And of course, that was the year that the Avs won, DU won, and the 12-year-old Quebec Pee Wee team won. We were hockey town, of course. So high school hockey's come a long way in Colorado to the point that we are competing for national high school championships.
I don't even know what else to add to that. It just in terms of what you just said, that Colorado high school hockey is going on the national stage and competing with some of the best teams around the country and doing more than competing, holding their own and winning championships. And I think that speaks volumes again for the development of high school hockey. And really it all starts at the youth level and getting kids involved in this great game and helping them develop from a young age. You don't just show up to high school as a 13, 14-year-old and suddenly say, I want to play this game. It takes years and years of practice, preparation, which all of these players out here have done, and that youth level hockey in the state continues to grow and continues to develop.
And we should mention that the interview with Terry Ott has been delayed, and we're going to have that interview perhaps in between one of the two periods. So, but we want to touch on the coaches here and who we've got on the bench here. We've got just for Regis, we've got head coach Terry Ott in his 19th year at Regis, his second year at the head coach helm. We also have Will Damreth. Will Damreth's son is number 9. He's a defenseman. And we have Brian Miller on the bench along with Grant Woodley, Dan Woodley's son as well. We also want to mention that we've got Ava Lindberg and Avery Whalen, managers, and we're going to have Todd Schuler, the athletic director of Regis, after the first period for an interview. For Valor, we've talked a lot about George Gwozdecky, but he has a familiar face next to him, manning the D side of the bench, Adrian Wiedemann, who is a star player at the University of Denver. And he also has Sean Capel, Jeff Martin, and Brett Glossinger is the manager. And then the athletic director is Keith Wahl. And Keith will join us in the second period as well. So, Charlie, we are down to a minute here and counting as the teams are finishing their final warm-up here. And we get a good look at both the teams. Valor comes in dressed in their dark blues, trimmed out with baby blue and gold with the big V on the crest of the chest. So neither of these teams have nameplates on the back of their jerseys. So it makes it challenging, but it's always fun as these players come out and both of these programs just look sharp, disciplined. You just see it in the way they carry themselves. We had a chance to see the players a little bit down below in the concourse level before, and everybody seemed calm and ready to get this game on.
Everyone did seem calm, but I think underneath that calm was hiding certainly some butterflies and some anxiousness to get this game started. Even when we were chatting, Manny, with head coach Terry Ott, he said the first 10 minutes are going to be really interesting. We'll see how both teams react to the moment. You likely expect some bobbled pucks, some guys maybe playing a bit hesitant, just till you can get a shift or two underneath you. For some of these guys on Valor's side, obviously they've been here. For Regis, a bit of a new experience just for this roster. And so you'll look to see early on maybe which team is playing with more fluidity, which team is playing with more pace. Oftentimes, players that get to the puck first tell you that they're ready to go and they're ready to play. And so we'll certainly be watching the start of this game for any indication of which team may have the early edge.
I would say right now, Regis might have the early edge in terms of their fan base. They are pounding the glass over on the far side. They are ready for this game. And opposite of them is Valor. And I think one of the most anticipated questions is who's going to start in goal for Valor.
There's no question about that. A lot of interest in who is going to get the start, just because both goalies so strong for Valor, and they've split time all season long for Coach Gwozdecky.
And we're going to have our starting lineups. And they are announcing the non-starters right now. The starting lineups for Valor is going to be in goal, Trudeau Coffey, the senior. And on defense, Edward Chen, the junior, number 4. And number 8, his partner is Mark Ladwig. He's a senior. And at left wing, Daniel Galushko, the senior, number 17. And the centerman is Andrew Jenkins, who leads this team in goals and points, number 24. He's a junior. And the senior, Brock Benson, number 22. And now for Regis, they're going to give the non-starters, and we're going to hold off and wait to announce the starters for you. The starters for Regis Jesuit. And in goal, the freshman, number 33, Easton Sparks. And on defense, Zach Lorenzo, number 5. He's paired up with number 9, Luke Damrith, another senior. And the forwards is senior Reece Peterson, number 25, junior centerman, number 92, Vinny Cieslak, and senior number 51, Edison Barnes.
For our national anthem, the anthem presented tonight from Regis Jesuit High, Senior Francis Sullivan.
Whose broad stripes and bright
And a beautiful rendition of our Star Spangled Banner. We are ready. 17 minutes up on the clock for this first period. So what a great venue to play this game in. And we've got the best seat in the house right here, Charlie.
We do have the best seat in the house. And even through the national anthem, the atmosphere is what makes championships championships. Both student bodies are into it. They're on the glass, as you described, Manny. And it's a really good crowd here at Magness for this championship game.
So Regis to our right, Valor to our left. Valor in their dark blues, Regis in their home whites. We are ready for the drop of the puck as Vinny Cieslak will take it versus Andrew Jenkins. And the puck is down. And Regis picks it up and sends it into the zone as Lorenzo sends it back behind the cage. And it's moved up the near side boards, picked up by Chen. Chen with a snap pass that goes beyond everyone. We've got the game's first whistle here at that 16:45 mark. So we talked a little bit about those nerves, and that pass was just a bit off, and it was looking to get that puck out of the zone. So Regis gains an offensive zone faceoff here, and get a good look at Vinny Cieslak. Cieslak had a hat trick versus Stanley Lake in the playoffs. So he looks to pick up where he took off from there. There's the first shot of the game, and it's an easy save for Coffey. Puck in the near side corner. Puck is picked up and right in front, but a good defensive play by the off-wing Galushko. Galushko moves it over to Benson. Benson's got a breakaway and a save as Sparks comes up big. What a save that Sparks came up. And we look at the replay, and you get a chance, Charlie, to see it from a bird's eye view here.
Well, we talked right at the top of the telecast about Easton Sparks being a freshman goalie, being new to the moment, but knowing his history, he's played in these big games throughout his youth career and certainly met the challenge time and time again. Expected him to do the same tonight, and he showed that he's ready for it with a great save off that initial breakaway.
And Regis looks to settle things down as they move the puck into the Valor zone, and picking it up is Nolan Williams. Williams takes a heavy check, and the puck is moved back over to the near side half boards, and just lifting the stick of Perenjape, but Perenjape recovers. Jordan moves the puck back over to the far side, and Maddox Charles settles things for Valor. Sends it in, and the puck rolls around to the near side boards as Regis gets a line change, and Valor looks to move it out, and the bouncing puck over on the far side. Cole Tallis picks it up. Tallis spins away, sends it back up to the point. Here's the shot, and his second glove save for Sparks of the evening, and he makes that one with some confidence.
One thing we'll be watching as well, Manny, the little bit of a chess match between coaches. Again, we had a chance to visit with both coaches prior to the game. Terry Ott was not shy about saying, and I get last change. So it'll be interesting to see what type of matchups both coaches look to try to make with their lines.
And the puck, as Valor puts on a hard forecheck, but Regis is able to get the puck back to the Valor line. Loose puck is picked back up by Makito. Makito, the big defenseman, the big freshman. Keep an eye out for him. He's got a heavy shot. Meanwhile, Regis looking to move the puck out, and Valor puts it right back into Regis' zone. Regis brings the puck back up through the neutral zone, and that's Avery Osgood, number 81. Sent it in, goes for the forecheck, and the puck is picked up by Cieslak. Cieslak with the puck, dumps it in, tag up, and Coffey gives his defense a hand as the puck is picked back up by Elijah Fisher. Fisher works his way through center, but that puck is picked off. It's picked off by Barnes. Barnes hands it back off. Cieslak's shot. That one ricochets back over to the far left wing boards. A collision over on the far side. Regis is able to keep the puck in the zone, sweeping it back into the slot, and then Valor is able to move it back as the rolling puck goes the distance. Icing is waved off, and Regis with the long pass to center ice, trying to gain control and put it right back in. Mark Ladwig for Valor On the defensive side, Coffey's got it. Coffey rings it around over to the far side, knocked down nicely by Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson on that fourth line with Lucas Scott and Politti. As waiting for the puck on the near side is Politti, sends a dangerous pass, but it's able to get over to the far side, and stepping in from his deep position, right in on Coffey, and Coffey makes his first save of the game.
Both coaches making a point to get all players involved, get everybody at least a shift. Both coaches had their fourth lines out there on that last sequence.
And driving hard to the net was Peterson for Regis. And off the faceoff, Jenkins wins that one, touched up by Ladwig. And the puck moved up but not out as there's Perenjapi controlling the blue line, back over to Ladwig. Ladwig with some pressure, tries to shake it off, sends it up the right wing boards. Puck is picked back up by Crowell. Crowell's shot, knocked down, and Galusha settles for Valor. Move back over to Ladwig, and Ladwig through center ice, takes it in, and he'll give the forecheck himself, Perenjapi. The smooth skating defenseman moves the puck back over to the near side, and Williams has it. Williams with a shot, the puck right on the doorstep, and a loose puck, and the crowd groans as the puck is swept out below Coffey. He didn't know where it was.
Well, certainly the best scoring chance of the game as Regis with a very good breakout pass. Perenjapi started that breakout, able to move the puck up to Nolan Williams. He just throws it at the net, and just for a moment, Trudeau Coffey not real sure where that puck was, and it had squirted in behind him.
As we've got Ian Beck's line out there now for Regis, as Valor moves it into the zone, and glancing over his shoulder is Lorenzo. Lorenzo in the Zam corner, works it back against the grain and moves it back behind Sparks' cage. And over on the right-hand side, Regis looks for the long pass, goes the distance. We've got icing. We're coming back to the Regis end.
Well, Manny, we're just over 4 minutes into this one, and a breakaway on one side for Valor. Pretty good chance a moment ago there for Nolan Williams for Regis, but I think, kind of like Coach Ott thought we would see, a little bit of a feeling out process. It's a big stage. Neither team wants to make any mistakes, so when you get the puck on your stick, you can see they're looking to just gain zones, make safe plays with the puck.
And so we've got the Charles line versus the Cieslak line out there as Coach Terriot has this final change here. As the puck is tapped back over, as Peterson moves it back over to the far side, and racing for it is number 2, Colton Campbell, the defenseman for Valor. Campbell is looking for it, but Maddox Charles scoops up the puck, sauces one back over, looking for his brother. Perenjapi steps in. Perenjapi on his backhand, delivers it right through the slot. So he was looking for Cieslak. The puck was just behind him, couldn't come up with it. And coming back up with the puck, Cieslak's got it. Cieslak from the dot, and Coffey answers with a glove save to match Sparks.
Really good transition here by Regis. They're able to create a turnover in the neutral zone, and then they turn that turnover into immediate offense. And you're right, good save there by Coffey, and a glove save to hold on, allow his team to get some fresh bodies on the ice.
So Jenkins' line is out there for Valor, and the loose puck tipped back into the corner as the heady Daniel Galushko arrives on the scene. The puck along the half boards on the near side, picked back up by Beck. Beck unable to get a shot off. Brock Benson tips it and looking for Jenkins. Jenkins is ridden off the puck, and Regis brings it back into the zone. Battle for it along the blue line. Brock Benson has it. Benson tips it past his man, but Regis is able to recover as Daniel Galushko gets back for a second time, as Galushko, the left wing, has made a couple of good defensive plays. Back to live action. Jenkins with the shot, and a snapshot. Sparks to his knees, makes the save.
Well, and that's a guy we haven't talked a lot about yet, Manny, and we're going to probably talk about him a lot before the night is over, and that's Andrew Jenkins for Valor. Good move there to go to his forehand and be able to get that shot off from the top of the circles. Jenkins, the leading scorer on this Eagles team.
As Green with the puck over on the far side, puts it down low. Tallis is there along the half boards. Has it taken off of his stick, but Regis can't clear. Now glancing over his shoulder into the near side corner is Cedar Regan, the freshman, number 8, and the puck is picked off, stolen. Looking for right in the middle, that was Green who stole that puck. Cole Tallis can't race for it, and we've got a whistle coming up here. And the net is off the moorings. So good pressure from that third line with Cole Tallis. You saw Landon Green. He's another freshman. So keep an eye. There's 2 freshmen that are playing on each team. We talked about Jack McKiddo, number 6, the big defenseman. And then we've also got Landon Green for Valor. Opposite of him, we've already talked about Sparks, and now we've got Regan, the defenseman. And so Valor wins the faceoff, and the Charles brothers with Maddox has the puck poked off his stick, and Regis is able to knock the puck back out to center, as trying to come up with it was Cieslak. Cieslak in the zone, has the puck surrounded, is able to get to his defenseman, and the bouncing puck comes out. Maddox Charles has it. Maddox Charles working to the inside, draws the penalty, and the loose puck right in front. Puck comes back up, and the whistle finally. Maddox Charles is going to get a penalty shot. What an opportunity. Take us through that.
Well, always subjective in terms of what the official deems if the player was in the clear or not. In terms of the initial breakaway, the ruling is that he was in the clear, and so we will have a penalty shot for Valor.
So this comes with less than 7 minutes into this contest. We have a penalty shot, and Maddox Charles, who had 9 goals this season, but in the playoffs he's red hot. He's got 4 goals in the playoffs thus far.
Well, if you're Valor, you really can't hand-pick your guy to take this shot a whole lot better than have it be Maddox Charles.
Maddox Charles with a left-handed stick lines up at the Valor blue line as the Regis crowd pressed up against Sparks' end of the glass. Sparks readies himself. And we've got we are ready as Jake Crowell is in the penalty box, and Maddox Charles awaits. And he's getting some final instructions as Sparks is getting his instructions down at his end. Sparks is a left-handed glove. Maddox Charles, a left-handed stick. And here comes Maddox Charles. Takes it right down the middle. Charles makes a move and tumbles up and over Sparks. And the Regis crowd erupts as Sparks acknowledges them.
Good move by Maddox Charles. He tries to go backhand at the last minute, but he just gets in too tight on Sparks, and Sparks, those breakaways, and especially on a penalty shot, whoever blinks first is usually not going to end up the successor, or be successful, I should say. And in that case, Sparks just held his ground. Charles got in a bit too tight, so by the time he tried to go to his backhand, he was in on Easton Sparks in his pads and just couldn't pull that puck back to get a shot off.
And we'll see if that changes some momentum here, as Regis has got to feel it here as a big collision back below the line and a couple of big bodies battling, and it's Ethan Jordan. And I think Ethan Jordan is taking a penalty and is going to go for perhaps a roughing call, as he was battling hard with Nolan Williams in the corner. Williams gave him a good shot. And Ethan Jordan, the senior, takes the game's first penalty as Regis, well, I should say other than the penalty shot, right?
Right, exactly right. So Ethan Jordan goes to the box. On the replay there, I was looking to see if Jordan maybe gave an extra shot late or something along those lines, but he really didn't. Officials deem that initial play to be the penalty, and it'll be the first power play of the night for Regis.
And for Regis, this is the Cieslak line with Vinny Cieslak, Reece Peterson, Edison Barnes, is out there along with Lorenzo and Damrith for the Regis Raiders on this power play. Jenkins, Galushko, Chen, and Lagwig are the penalty killers.
Well, for Regis, if they're able to stop the penalty shot, which they did by Sparks, and then you're on the power play, you're able to get a goal. You nearly were down one, and you could find yourself up a goal.
And over on the far side, Damrith takes a heavy check from behind, and Valor stymies the entry. Chasing it back is Zach Lorenzo, the big defenseman. Lorenzo leaves it behind Sparks' cage as we're down to a minute 15 of power play time. And working the puck up is Perenjapi, the smooth skating defenseman. Takes it back in. Lagwig shadows him. Jenkins presses him. Lagwig gets a piece of it. Up, not out. Puck is held in by Beck. Beck puts it right on the doorstep. Second shot, a save, and the loose puck back behind the cage is picked back up and is moved back over to the far side. Looking for it was Warat, and the puck comes all the way back out to the Regis end. Good couple of chances for Regis. There is 39 seconds remaining in the power play. The puck comes all the way back to Brenner as Brenner tries to shake off Maddox Charles' PK forecheck. And coming away with the puck, moving it back up ice. And it's whipped around back over to the near side, waiting for it up against the boards. There is number 18, Brenner. Brenner battling along with Carter Charles. And the puck pokes free. With 9 seconds remaining in the power play, Regis needs a line change. Valor is going to be able to move the puck back out to center as Carter Charles gets a piece of it. As he is battling there, puck comes back over to Carter Charles. Charles sidesteps Lorenzo's check. And Valor is back to full strength.
Little bit of a flurry midway through that power play, Manny, but Regis never really able to get set up.
And now Valor pressing on the forecheck. Waiting up high, Carter Charles rings it around the boards, past Maddox Charles, and it escapes the zone as Colton Campbell has to go back for it. Puck is picked back up by Tallis. Tallis circles, Maddox Charles settles, and calls for it again. Maddox Charles with the pass as he lost it there. Cieslak with the puck as he draws another penalty. Puck comes back up to the point, and here comes Regis. Lorenzo shot a gut save, held on by Trudeau Coffey. So the second power play of the game goes to Regis one more time as a hooking call. And that's McKiddo. Jack McKiddo takes a hooking call, and this one comes at the 6:52 mark. So we've had a penalty shot, and now Regis is 0 for 1 on their power play. They get another chance as Cieslak's line is out there with Damrith waiting up at the blue line. Working back down low is Barnes. Barnes digs it out, has some trouble with Chen. Damrith wins a lot of those battles on the boards, and he moves the puck back over to the far side. Puck is picked back up, and waiting for it up high is Lorenzo. Lorenzo's shot goes off a Jenkins boot, and it's recovered back over to Damrith, the top half of the circle. Damrith looking for a lane, doesn't have it, finds Lorenzo one more time, far side. Here's the shot, and it goes off at Chin's as Shen got his boot on it. Regis works to keep it in. Damrith is there, gets tied up by Galushko, and the heady Galushko is able to move the puck and put it right on net. Sparks has to hold it there, and so Valor gains a offensive zone face-off on Regis's power play with 1:12 to go in the power play.
And that's happened twice now, Manny, in as many power play chances for Regis, where Valor able to send the puck the length of the ice. It goes in on Sparks, and the first player up the ice is a Valor Eagle, forcing Sparks to cover up for a face-off.
And so Regis looks to move it out. And over on the near side, the long pass cross ice from Brenner. Finds a streaking Perenjapi. Puck is picked back up by Osgood. Handed back off, and on his backhand, another save by Coffey as Coffey covers a large side of that net. He's a big goalie.
I was just about to say, as good as Sparks has looked early on in this game, Coffey has matched him. You know, he's seen his ante and he's raising him on the other end. Coffey is, in terms of Sparks play, he's been on top of his crease. He's big. He's square to the puck. Very few rebounds. Other than the one that kind of squirted through his pads, he's looked really sharp.
And so with 48 seconds remaining in the power play, a shot from Ian Beck just inside of the blue line, and there was some traffic in front of Coffey. He comes up with the save.
Well, again, for Coffey to be able to track that puck through the traffic that you just talked about, Manny, really good focus from Coffey in net for Valor. And now Coach Gwozdecky and the officials having a conversation about line changes. And again, this is absolutely some of the game within the game, if you will. Coach Todd is on his bench, and his assistant over there, I think that might be Will Damrath. He's saying, let's get this thing going because the Valor penalty killers may be catching an extra breath.
And so we've got Alex Warmups taking this face-off. It's the third-line centerman, number 16. It's only a sophomore as the puck comes back up. And that was Brenner on that face-off, with the shot and the loose puck right in front. Getting back was Paranjapi. Paranjapi thwarts a goal for Valor. And with the puck, settling it down now for Valor is Carter Charles as he sails another one. And that'll go as a save for Sparks, at least in the statistic books here. As the puck is moved back through center and skating through is Ian Beck. Beck picks up his rebound. Coffey makes the save. And the puck over on the far side. Corner boards chopped up. Magness Charles has it. Charles sends it to a vacant half boards over on the near side. And coming out, and Valor is back to full strength as McKiddo is back to the bench. And Valor has their 5 players back. As Regis looks to move that puck up and out of their zone, they're able to re-secure the puck over on the near side. And working out is Fate. Fate sends it to the far side, but Alex Gregory lost an edge as he looked to have a little bit of open daylight there, looking for that long pass. Pass off of Cole Tallis's blade. He's taken hard into the boards by Damrath, who gains position, moves it back below the line. A.J. Harris's pass, unanswered, picked up by Ladwig, and he rolls a soft one back below the line. Puck is picked back up by Harris. Here's the shot right in front, looking for the loose puck. Is Cole Tallis, can't come up with it. Puck comes back up to Lagwid from the right point. Lagwid finds Harris. Harris unable to stop it there. Tallis battling his man. That's Lorenzo, much to the delight of the Regis crowd. Out of the Zam corner, coming away with the puck. Harris delivers it back down low. Tallis gets upended, and the crowd roars as Lorenzo puts a glove into the face of Tallis. And we've got a penalty. It's going to be a tripping call. The Regis fans don't care. They love the action, Charlie.
Very physical down low. Tripping will be the call, and that's going to be on Zach Lorenzo. So technically the second penalty on Regis in this hockey game, but the first one resulted in a penalty shot, which was unsuccessful by Magness Charles as Sparks made the save. With the first 5-on-4 man advantage for the Eagles.
And so Coffey coming well out of his cage to pick up that puck for Magness Charles. Charles looks for a lane as he was looking for a long pass. Charles, the sophomore who quarterbacks this power play, moves the puck back over to the far side, and a snap pass by Galushko finds the stick of Jenkins. Jenkins centering pass is picked off, and Regis sends it the distance as Carter Charles, with a man on him, that's Brenner, is able to move the puck back over to Galushko. Galushko, quick pass to Magness Charles, a sauce into looking for Hirschfield. Hirschfield can't control. The puck rides the rails on the far side and cleared out one more time by Regis. 1:11 to go in the power play as Valor is pressed here by Cieslak on the PK. Magness Charles picks it back up as he weaves his way through center. avoids two and sends it back over to the near side. Jenkins has to hustle, but the angle is off, and Damreth scoops it up, not out. Maddox Charles with it, takes the snapshot, hits a body in front, never got through. Puck is picked back up by Hirschfield. Carter Charles slides it back over. Jenkins high, Galushko with the shot. Loose puck as a stick came up high on Sparks. He's okay. Puck comes back up to Galushko, winding, doesn't have the lane. Maddox Charles with a toe drag, he doesn't have it either. And with 28 seconds remaining in the power play, Galushko's got the puck from the right dot back to Maddox Charles. Jenkins is there, Charles setting up, here's the shove, the drive, loose puck, Sparks down to the ice, covers and holds. Good movement by Valor.
For a good minute plus, Valor wasn't able to generate anything, and then an errant clearing attempt allowed Valor to keep the puck in the zone, and then from there, just as you described, Manny, the Eagles were able to generate good puck movement, good puck possession, and really they were able to move the puck to a guy in the slot, so a good shooting angle. Sparks with another good save.
Final 10 seconds of Valor's power play, and Regis is able to wedge the puck back out to center. Over on the far side, Ladwig looks for it, and the puck goes up, and it stays in play. Ian Beck, as Regis has killed off their first penalty, and they are back to full strength. Puck is dumped in back over to the far side by Chen. Waiting for it there was number 18, Brenner, as this top line out there with Beck. And that's going to go for an icing call. We're coming back to the Regis zone. 1:14 to go in this first period. It is 0-0, shots 11-11.
Can't be much more even than it's been through nearly one period of play. 2 power plays for Regis, they're 0 for 2. 1 power play for the Eagles, 1 penalty shot for the Eagles. They're 0 for 2. Shots are 11 aside, and the score remains deadlocked at 0.
And with 1:14 to go in the first period, Lucas Scott, the junior centerman, and his line gets a shift as Scott right in the middle looking for the loose puck. He draws a penalty, and so Valor is going to get their second power play of the game, and it comes with 1:05 to go in this first period.
Well, and it comes quickly on the heels, Manny, of the penalty that just expired. So Coach Gwozdecky and Valor, they have that number 1 unit with 5 forwards, but all of those guys just logged a ton of ice time on that last man advantage, but all 5 hop the boards, and they'll start this power play as well for Valor.
And it was interesting because it was Valor's 4th line that drew that penalty. And Lucas Scott, Politti, and Gunnarsson do their jobs, keep some pressure on, and force a penalty on Regis. Damreth in the box as the puck is down and battling for it, as Regis is able to get a stick on it and move the puck back out to center. Taking the puck into the Valor zone and looking for it, driving it all the way to Coffey's cage as Carter Charles. Galushko's there to tell Carter, and then you see Jenkins and Reece Peterson. A little bit of calmer heads here with 51 seconds remaining in this first period. You don't want to give up your man advantage, that's for sure.
Not only do you not want to give up your man advantage, you don't want one of your top 5 power play guys going to the box and throwing that man advantage out of sync in terms of your unit that's running that power play. And as you said, calmer heads prevail and no calls.
Puck is put into Coach Ott's box, and there you see Coach Ott giving instructions there to his penalty killers. He's going to change things up. He's got Perrin Joppi and Cieslak out there along with Edison Barnes, and I think Crowell on the far side. Here we go with 39 seconds to go in the period, and Valor looks to set things back up as Maddox Charles gets the return feed and takes it into the Regis zone. Charles dancing through traffic. Puck comes back up high. It's Galushko. Galushko was looking for a man down low, but it was picked off. A good play by Regis as Valor thought they were going to have a scoring opportunity there. Jenkins taps it back, and with 13 seconds remaining in the period. Beck steals the puck. Only momentarily, Carter Charles re-secures it. And that's going to do it as the final seconds of this first period tick off the clock. Valor unable to get a shot off at the end as the buzzer sounds. After 17 minutes, it is 0-0 between Valor and Regis in this 5A championship game. And Charlie, I think it was just about everything that we thought it might be here.
I was just thinking, that may be one of the more entertaining, scoreless periods of hockey that one will see. You had a penalty shot, you had power play chances on each side, both teams with some great scoring chances, and yet nothing to show for it as both goalies stood tall in net for their respective teams. And we thought, obviously, goaltending is the key to any big hockey game, Manny, but just the way this one set up, Valor with their two very good goaltenders, either one of them very well could have gotten the start. That was interesting. And then Easton Sparks, the freshman in net for Regis. Both goalies, Coffey for Valor and Sparks for Regis, played exceptionally well in that first 17 minutes of play.
So with that, we are going to break, and we're going to bring you the Terry Ott interview here, and then we're going to come back and we are going to have an interview with Regis's athletic director coming back up next. It is 0-0 after one.
Magness
Regis
Arena.
and Valor 5A hockey.
High
You're
School hockey
listening
5A
and watching
championship
on
game
Shaw Hockey
between Regis
Productions.
Jesuit
We'll be
and
back
Valor Christian.
in about 5
I'm joined
minutes.
now with Regis head coach Terry Ott, now in his 19th year with the Raiders and second as head coach. Welcome, Coach Ott.
Thanks, Manny.
Coach, it would be hard to write a suspense story any better than this. Regis versus Valor. You split the CHSAA season 1-1, and in those games, it was closer. It was a 4-1 and a 3-1 win, but it was closer than the score indicated. Talk a little bit about what you learned from those two games, and if you approach this third game now any differently than the first two.
Yeah, I don't think our approach is any different. We're obviously going to play our game and hopefully play our game a little bit better than Valor plays theirs. During the season, we split those, and the first game we hosted at Family Sports ended up 4-1, but I thought we were the team that carried the play in that particular game, and they added a couple empty netters. I feel like we gave them too many easy opportunities in that game. I think their first goal was a breakaway. And the second one was an odd man rush. Two empty netters finished it off. And conversely, when we played the rematch, when Valor was the home team, I thought they did a little bit better job of playing to their game. And the outcome for us favorably came out 3-1. We got a power play goal late to kind of give us a little insurance in that game. But at this point in the season, as well as we know each other, I think each team is going to try and take away what the other team does well and really focus on what our own teams do well and see if we can't out execute the opponent here in this one.
Well, you mentioned Parker Brenner. He leads the team in assists with 12, and Ian Beck leads the team in goals with 13. You can clearly see how there's some chemistry there between the two.
Absolutely, yeah. They didn't play much together last year. Parker, I think, centered our second line last year, but this year, those two have really played well together. And you add in Nolan, like I said, it's a good mix. They do little things well together to push the pace for us on the offensive side of things.
On the blue line, you have three of your top four defensemen are seniors: Dylan Paranjapi, Jay Crowell, and Luke Damreth. You've got some experience back there, teamed up along with junior defenseman Zach Lorenzo. Specifically, Paranjapi is a senior now and wears an assistant captain on his jersey as he leads your defenseman in assists with 10. Talk about his game a little bit.
Yeah, Dylan is another one of our leaders, and he is an exceptional skater. That's the one thing that kind of jumps out at you when you watch film, or you watch a game of ours and you see him on the back end. He relieves so much pressure from the opponent's forecheck because he's able to get back to pucks quick and then utilize his speed and many times, beat the first forechecker, make a quick outlet pass to start the breakout. And then, he's skating by, the other team's forwards and making it an odd man rush situation. So he's developed his defensive side this year a great deal, a little more tenacity in his game, which is great.
Goaltending is always a key element to winning championships. This year, you're starting a freshman, Easton Sparks. It reminds us of 4 years ago when another freshman, Cooper Robinson, started the championship game for Valor Christian. Talk a little bit about Easton Sparks and what a player he is, being able to play as a freshman at the varsity level.
Yeah, Easton's been a real strong player for us this year. Goaltending coming into the fall and into the CHSAA season, a little bit of a question mark. We graduated 2 seniors last year, didn't really know who was going to take the net for the varsity team, and Easton has steadily demonstrated his abilities. He's calm. He's got a great focus back there, and he's played his way and earned the opportunity to be our starting goalie this year. It's really propelled us to where we're at now.
Talk a little bit about the relationship that you have with Coach George Gwozdecky, and what it's going to mean to you to go up against George in this state championship.
Yeah, it's I don't know what year it is for George, but at Valor Christian, but it seems like it's probably his eighth or ninth year there. And over the years you develop a relationship. I've helped him with the Team Colorado showcase teams that we've done the last few years. But it is a relationship that we've developed. It's one of those things you're competitive. But I think Mike Krzyzewski of Duke said it best, rivalries aren't necessarily based on hatred. They're based on a mutual respect of attaining excellence. And George pushes his program both on and off the ice, to that level of excellence that, we've been at before. And of course we want to achieve again. So it's really about achieving that excellence, which team's going to be able to execute and follow through and believe in what they're doing. So, but yeah, George and I have developed a pretty good friendship over the last 7 or 8 years. So it's nice. And when you go up against friends, it's always nice. It brings out the best.
So with that, we've got the drop of the puck just ahead of us as Regis looks for their 7th state championship. Coach Ott, good luck.
Thanks, Manny. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
No. She's in the game, has paid ticket. Thank you so much.
And welcome back to Magness Arena as we are at the first intermission, and we are welcoming to the booth Todd Schuler, the athletic director for Regis. Todd, welcome to the booth. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here. Thanks for broadcasting the game.
So, Todd, first of all, you have a bird's eye view of this game. So let's tell everybody where you're sitting here for this game.
So I'm with my youngest son, my 8-year-old. We're down in the penalty box man in the penalty box. But then a little too active on the Regis side in the first period, so we need to clean that up a little bit.
Well, your son Owen is a hockey player. Is he explaining everything to you here?
He is. He plays here for the Junior Pioneers, so he's very familiar with Magness.
Well, what a thrill for him to be in to watch a game of this magnitude up close.
Oh, it's great. Two fantastic teams competing with each other. It's you can't ask for anything more.
Todd, Charlie Host here. Just take us through, what the happenings at Regis, some of the things going on within your athletic department, some of the exciting things that are happening at this time for you and your program.
Yeah, this is an exciting time of year. I mean, certainly with hockey getting into the finals, our girls basketball team competes on Thursday in the Final Four at Denver Coliseum. Spring sports are starting. We have high aspirations for a number of our teams. We just opened a month ago. We opened a $35 million Science and Innovation Center, so that's been an outstanding space to welcome new families to as we go through this admission cycle. So there's a lot of exciting things. We're building new tennis courts on campus, so lots of improvements in the facility space over at the school. Lots of good things going on with our teams. Yeah. And this hockey team they're a fantastic group of young men. Really excited that they're here. They're super active. Channel 8 featured them. They're super active on community service. Had a great. They do a teddy bear toss. They bring stuff, gifts, and spend some time over at Children's Hospital. They did a great fundraiser for Kick-Ash Cancer. So there's a lot of really good things going on in the hockey program and at Regis in general. Regis
has always been known for their school spirit. It's always been, just years ago, and I have to admit, I went there in the 1980s, and we went to a couple of state basketball championships, and we were always going up against the big public schools, Boulder in particular. But look at this school spirit that you have out here. We talked to Coach Todd a little bit about it, and the teams that the little send-off that they did.
Yeah.
How do you build that school spirit? What is it about Regis that it has always had such a strong student body?
Well, there's a real brotherhood and a sisterhood, and we certainly promote that within our teams. Our boys lacrosse and girls lacrosse and baseball teams went out of their way to cut practices short and send off the hockey team to show that kind of love and that respect. They want to be there later this spring, right? And so it's fantastic to see. I mean, both student sections. Valor's got a great student section out here tonight. Regis Jesuit does. I think I heard some of that pregame interview with Terry. I think he said it well, right? There's a mutual respect. Yes, there's a rivalry between Regis and Valor, but there's a lot of respect between the two programs. We're trying to do similar things off the fields with formation for our young people, and so we love to compete with them. And you see that with the support both schools have.
Love the emphasis of not only on the court, on the ice, on the field, but what these young student athletes are doing in classrooms and in the communities. It's a lot of people who don't have young athletes at this level don't realize what a commitment it is.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, to compete at a 5A program, it's a year-round commitment athletically, but they're also getting it done. Teachers aren't cutting them any slack in the classroom, right? It's a high academic school. They're getting it done across the board. So we're really proud of them.
You talk about the mutual respect between these two teams. I think one of the things, and we were joking with Coach Gwozdecky, let the holy war begin. I mean, here we go. But at the end of this game, it is much like what you see at the end of, say, a Army-Navy football game. They come together, and there is a prayer at center ice.
Absolutely.
And you see the players. It's not one on one side and one on the other side. They're all intermingled.
It's one of the more beautiful things we have, whether it be a football game, basketball game, hockey game here tonight. These two teams, these two programs are always going to get together. They share bonds, they share a faith, and we're proud of that. We're proud of both programs.
Well, it's great to see both programs here. The Regis crowd in the white and the Valor in the baby blue over to the left-hand side. But you're right, it is a It is a great scene, and we've been waiting for this game for a long time. I'm sure you have too.
Yes, we
I'm sure
have.
you get up a little bit extra because you know we're going to have Keith Wahl on in between. So go ahead and because he gets last change.
Well, I told Keith I was going to set a low bar for him, so hopefully he comes in and he does a good job. But no, Keith and I work hand in hand. We do a lot of things together. We compete against Valor in every sport. So I clearly I'm in white and red and black tonight. You know, I have a favorite. I want to see the Raiders pull this out, but you know, I have a lot of respect for what the Eagles and Valor are doing as well.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. This is great. You've got a job to do in that penalty box,
I gotta get back
and
to the
there
box.
is 55 seconds left. So you know, not 54. So
correct. We'll see what we can do about that.
There we go. Thank you very much, Todd, for joining us, and good luck the rest of the game and the rest of the season here for Regis.
All right. Thank you both for being out here on the call.
Thanks very much. And I think the thing, Charlie, you know, we get a chance to talk to the coaches, we get a chance to talk to the athletic directors, and I think the thing that you see from top to bottom, it's from the athletic department, from the administration, from the head coaches, all the way, and it trickles down into that respect between the players. They compete hard, but at the end, it works all the way down. And if you didn't set the example at the top, it wouldn't be that way at the bottom.
I think that's really well said. Let's, you know, the idea of we can compete as hard as we possibly can compete between the lines, you know, within the boards, on the field, on the court, and then when it's done, hey, win, lose, or draw, we have a lot of respect for the other team. And the other, you know, the old cliche, and cliches are just that for a reason, but iron sharpens iron, right? So the better that a Regis program and a more competitive that a Regis program is, and likewise on the Valor side, as these two programs elevate, they're only going to bring out the best in each other, and they're going to raise that bar for each program and really programs across the state to continue to develop and increase their talent, increase their play, and the way they conduct themselves.
And some of these players, we're seeing some of these players from these schools get a chance, and we'll talk a little bit about it, getting a chance to play some college hockey and some junior hockey. We are underway in this second period, 17 minutes up on the board, as Valor has 49 seconds of power play time to work with. The puck is put down over onto the far side and shoveled around back over to the near side. Crowell is able to send the puck the distance as Luke Damreth watches on. He's got 36 seconds more to serve as Maddox Charles over on the far side works his way past one, not two. Passes it back over to Jenkins. Jenkins takes it into the zone. The backhander and a save made by Sparks as he stands his ground. And the fluttering puck finds all the way down to Coffey's cage. He lends a hand to keep things moving for Valor, but an errant pass is picked off by Ian Beck. A move there, a toe drag, and a shot. A toe saved by Coffey. Another shot. Coffey's down. Loose puck comes up, and Paranjapi just misses. Coffey was down, and Paranjapi seemingly had an open net.
Well, and Regis had a great chance there, short-handed. Some of the better chances have come by the team that's down a man.
And now Beck hands it off all alone, walking in. Shot goal. Regis leads 1-0 as scoring is number 25. Walking in, Reece Peterson gets his third goal of the playoffs. Regis leads 1-0.
Turnover at their own blue line by Valor creates the chance. Peterson had all the speed coming into the zone, and it was a good play by Beck to just tip the puck over to Peterson because he had the momentum coming into the zone, and then Peterson in all alone on Coffee, able to shoot low blocker side. And early here in the second period, we have our first goal of the hockey game.
So what a momentum change. Regis had to kill off that penalty. They do, and they strike first with the first tally of the game. Picking up the puck over on the far side. Here comes Peterson again. This shot is deadened. Looking for it is Barnes. Peterson battling along the half board. Cieslik is there too. Peterson all alone a second time. Peterson scores his second. It is 2-0. Peterson scores two in a matter of less than 45 seconds. And now we have controversy. Do we have a goal, Charlie?
I have no idea how we're not calling that a goal. It sure looked from our angle that puck had beat Coffee. Get a great look at it here from behind the net, off the post.
It hit the post, and then a second shot did not go in. And Regis was celebrating. We called the goal. But if you had Shaw Hockey Productions, you'd be able to see that. So I don't know if, but that was a no goal, boy. And Peterson found himself all alone, Charlie, a second time. What a breakdown on the defensive side for Valor as Cieslik is upended the puck back behind the cage. Peterson is battling for it. It's tapped back behind the cage. And Jenkins has it for Valor. Moves it back over to Benson. Benson, a quick pass, finds the stick over on the near side of Campbell. Campbell working into the zone. The defenseman puts it back behind the cage. Jenkins has it. And the shot well high as Campbell's wrister was well over Sparks' cage. Meanwhile, Jenkins loses an edge. Campbell pokes in as he steps in. Galushko's shot was a headhunter, and that one goes wide. Paranjapi taps it, and picking it up in stride is Warrot. Warrot puts it in deep and puts on the forecheck. Galushko with it, shrugs off the check, moves it back over to Campbell, and Campbell is able to get it back out to center. Paranjapi looks over his shoulder, has to hustle in as he had a man bearing down on him. As the puck over on the half boards and the breakout play back on the stick of Osgood. Osgood working his way in. Maddox Charles cancels him out with a big check as Luke Damreth is in deep from his defensive position. As the puck is poked free and coming up with the loose puck is Hirschfield. Hirschfield strudges through center ice, takes it down into the corner as he protects the puck, looking for Carter Charles. Maddox is down there as well. Hirschfield tries to come up with it. Pass back over to Maddox Charles. Settles things back up to the point. Here's the shot, and it whistles wide as Elijah Fisher's bid was well wide. It bounces back. Sparks holds on. The Regis crowd roars.
Really good presence there by Carter Charles as he read that puck deflecting off the back wall and was able to line it up for a quick shot. Sparks had to be alert, get to his post, and square up to make the save.
And there's Maddox Charles as he rings one off the crossbar. The puck is poked back down, and Maddox Charles is on the hunt one more time. Maddox Charles passes it in front to his brother Carter. Carter got a stick on it, unable to get good wood. Puck is poked free by Fisher. Fisher loses the puck, it's Beck with it. 2-on-1, back shot, a backhander just goes wide. Beck had Brenner with him and took the shot as the puck back behind the cage and trying to bang it up against the door as McKiddo is able to move it back over to the half wall, and Valor escapes momentarily one more time. McKiddo's there, but the puck is tapped back over to the near side, and Brenner is pushed aside. As Elijah was there, Charlie, we've seen that now 3 times. As Peterson or Beck or somebody gets behind the play.
Yeah, the amount of breakaways through this game thus far really has been somewhat the story, and then the lack of converting on those breakaways. In the first period, it was Valor getting multiple chances on a breakaway, and here early in this second period, it's been Regis.
Edward Chen pokes it in deep, and he'll go on the forecheck. Paranjapi is able to beat it, and the puck is moved back out to center. Chen looks for it again, and Sends it back over. Tallis with a shot and a good snapshot as he took that off his front foot. Sparks is sharp as he continues to keep it a 1-goal game.
Well, we've talked about creating offense off of turnovers and in transition. That's exactly what Valor does here. A little pass right to the middle, and they find Cole Tallis, and he lets the shot go. Tallis, I think, would like to place that shot a little bit better toward the corner. He kind of put that one right between the Regis University lettering on Sparks' jersey.
And Regis takes the puck back out, staying on sides apparently. The pass right in front as Coffey stood his ground over on the far side. Puck is picked back up by Landon Green. Moves it back over as Chen taps it ahead. Not deep. Picked back up by A.J. Harris. In on Sparks. Sparks leaves it there. And the puck is moved back over to the near side half boards as Regis is able to get it back out to center. Here's a 2-on-1, bringing it in. Cieslak with the shot. It's under Coffey. He holds on and scoops up the puck with the big left mitt.
One of those moments where you say to yourself, is it in those pads or is it maybe squeaking through those pads? And I'm not even 100% sure that Trudeau Coffey knew for sure where that puck was, but he had it underneath him and made a big save there for Valor.
And so off the face-off, it's poked back and rattled around over to the far side. Puck is picked back up by Ethan Jordan. Sends it to Campbell. Campbell sends it back out to center, and now with a jump, Jenkins with it. Jenkins with a centering pass right in front as Maddox Charles was on the, Brock Benson was on the doorstep. Puck is picked back up by Campbell. Campbell doesn't have a lane, so he sends it over to the far side. And Regis with a long pass on the stick of Barnes. Barnes challenged by Campbell as Campbell takes him into the boards. And a dangerous play as he checked him from behind, and we've got a cross-checking penalty. And losing an edge, and it's a good thing he kind of went in feet first there, because... And so Campbell takes Valor's third penalty of the game.
Cross-checking is going to be the call. That's an interesting play because the referee who ultimately called the penalty was about 105 feet away from the play. The official down in the zone, in the Valor zone, who was about 10 feet away from the play, did not raise his arm as to call a delayed penalty, but it was the official out at center ice calling the cross-check. Regis on the man advantage.
A big penalty and a big opportunity for Regis is the shot from Ian Beck straight ahead. Hits the end boards, settled back by Regis over on the far side. Brenner sweeps it back up to Beck. Brenner from the half boards looking for a man, and it comes back all the way over to the near side. Half boards, Paranjapi slides it back over to Brenner. Brenner with a shot right on goal. Coffey bats it away with the blocker. Back up to Ian Beck. Beck finds Brenner. And Brenner's quick shot as he was looking for the far side of the cage misses the mark. Quickly the pass swung back over to the far side and kept alive with Osgood. As Osgood is taken down, puck comes back up and the errant pass escapes the grasp of Ian Beck.
Big clear there, and in these second periods, you're a long way from your own bench, so it's important to get that puck all the way down the ice to get some fresh bodies out there.
And here comes Valor with a shorthanded opportunity, but Ethan Jordan is taken off the puck. We have a 3-on-2 coming back, and a heady play one more time by Galushko, and Galushko headmans the pass. This time it's Jenkins. Jenkins driving to the cage. The loose puck on the side of the cage poked free by Elijah. And the puck goes up and into the netting as Ethan Jordan, number 5 out there on that PK, jumped up into the play, and what an opportunity for Valor.
Andrew Jenkins trying to use his body to shield the Regis defender and was looking to get all the way across the crease, just unable to do so. Again, some line changes that are being sent back, and as we've talked about, likely something that's going to play out throughout this game where Valor was trying to make a change, but in the eyes of the officials, they were doing so late and weren't allowed to make that final change.
So with 30 seconds remaining in Regis's third power play, they break it out back over to the near side, and the defenseman Luke Damrith takes it into the zone. He's got an angle. Damrith driving to the cage, and Coffey had to make another save. Back to the live action as the puck is rifled around the boards, back over to the far side. Carter Charles protects the puck as Damrith was on him, and Charles clears it the length of the ice. As we've got Colton Campbell is back on, and Valor is back to full strength as a good forecheck by Maddox Charles, looking for that loose puck. It's gathered back in, and the puck is bounced off and comes right back to the stick of Alex Gregory. Gregory puts it in deep, looking for the puck is Sorensen, can't come up with it, and Valor is able to move it back over to the near side boards, but it's recovered by Regis, keeps it into the zone. Ladwig with a man on his backside. Puck is moved up, and it is tipped back out to center. Carter Charles with some speed, and he is stymied by Perrin Joppi, trying to get some help from Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld looking for the puck. Hirschfeld, and the pass down into the corner. Carter Charles looking for his brother just beyond his reach, and the puck is poked free. Regis has it back out to center ice. 8:21 to go in this second period. Regis leads 1-0 on Reece Peterson's breakaway goal. And there's the long pass. That's going to miss the mark. We're coming back to our right-hand side with 8:11 remaining in this second period.
Well, good action, and that's putting it mildly. I mean, the amount of great scoring chances on both ends, it's almost as though we needed an icing just to allow everyone to catch their breath for a minute. Man advantages on each side, shorthanded teams getting breakaways. Regis had a 2-on-0 a moment ago, and yet the score just 1-0 at this point in favor of Regis.
Regis one more time, stealing the puck down low. Nolan Williams working out of the corner, stashes it back along the boards, and looks for the return feed. Nolan Williams with a wraparound attempt. The puck is loose, and the whistle blown. Yes, the net is off the moorings.
I think, Manny, nets coming off its moorings is going to be a point of emphasis in the game of hockey at some point in the very near future, because you're seeing it come off all too often at key moments of the game. No, sometimes it's absolutely the goalie just sliding, and he slides into the post, and they're big bodies, and it pushes that net off. But we got to find a way to secure nets in position and still keep players safe, just because of the amount of nets coming off.
As Beck steals the puck, and a rising wrister is snagged out of the air by Trudeau Coffey. Coffey one more time, another turnover at the blue line. And Regis gets another scoring opportunity, and Coffey snags that puck.
It was really a good idea on both sides in terms of the shot. I think that was Nolan Williams coming in from the side. He had a little sliver of room, high short side on Coffey, and he tried to find it, and then Coffey doing a good job in net with his positioning and keeping his glove in position to make the save.
Campbell battling, trying to move it up the half boards, waiting for it down low is Beck. Beck slides it along the dasher board. Racing in is Nolan Williams. Williams looks for the puck and can't come up with it. Maddox Charles has it. Maddox Charles tried to dance past Crowell, but Crowell made a move and was able to stop Maddox Charles. Puck is back behind Coffey's cage, and a little miscommunication. Jordan's got it, working the play with Campbell. And Valor's got an opportunity as Maddox Charles waits him out. Puck is moved back over to the far side and back behind Carter Charles. Carter Charles is able to pick it back up, leaves it for Maddox, and Maddox slides it around the dasher board over to the far side. Chasing it down is Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld puts it back up to the point. Back below, Perrin Joppi's got it. Perrin Joppi moves it back out to center. And the puck is held up there, got caught up with the linesman. And reading the play was Carter Charles. Charles rings one around the boards, stopped by Sparks, picked back up and moved back over the left wing boards. Peterson can't get the puck out. Puck is picked back up, and Hirschfield took a shot. He had an opportunity to tie this game up. Maddox Charles with the puck over on the half boards. Takes it back up along the blue line, walks the tightrope, puts it back down low. Carter Charles waiting for it, the give and go, and it's just beyond the reach one more time of the brother tandem. And an interesting play all the way back, I would say, by Elijah Fisher. Sends it back to his goalie, who has to cover and hold.
And Trudeau Coffey is one of those goalies who is able to play the puck and make a play with it, but I think the way you described that, Manny, is spot on. I think Trudeau Coffey even was a bit surprised that that puck was put in on him, and so he opts to just hold on for the faceoff.
And Osgood takes the faceoff for Regis, controlled by Valor. Galushko wastes no time as he gets that puck back out to center. Benson unable to come with it, and Galushko, the winger, sends another long pass onto the blade of Jenkins. Jenkins makes a move. Jenkins with the puck, and another save by Sparks. What a play as Jenkins had that puck. He made a dandy move to get himself free, but Sparks makes the save.
Good stretch pass to find Jenkins, and then he does a little spinorama around the defender, and again, the Valor forward ends up a little bit tight in on goal, so it's hard to go upstairs with that puck. It's hard to make a move and try and get around Sparks. Good job by Sparks to come out of his net, cut down the angle.
And the loose puck as Brenner's on the move. Brenner takes it in, draws the penalty. Loose puck back behind Coffey, and we've got a penalty. It's going to be a slashing call. So Daniel Galushko going to the box.
Coach Ott is wanting a penalty shot. He says, hey, if it was good enough for Valor to get a penalty shot on it in the first period, in his mind, and it's going to be a little bit biased, no question, but his player was in the clear as well, but the official not going to agree. But we could see Coach Ott, and he's still having a little fun with the officials and saying, you know, listen, if it was a penalty shot in the first, that looked pretty similar. I think it could be another penalty shot here in the second period. Either way, power play for Regis.
And this is a golden opportunity for Regis as they have their fourth power play of the game. They're 0 for 3 thus far. Perenjapi with the pass, but misses the angle. And you got to remember, you've got Galushko in the box. He's one of the better penalty killers on this Valor team. Let's catch you back up to the live action as taking the puck in is Perenjapi along the half boards on the far side. Leaves it there for Brenner. Brenner watched by Ladwig. Puck comes back up to Ian Beck. Beck's shot, and it's a loose puck in front. Anybody's puck back behind the cage. And the play continues. No whistle. Back up to Beck. Over on the far side, Brenner looking, a riser, and that one ricochets back out to center as Beck and Cole Tallis hustles back on the PK as Valor gets two fresh bodies on. Beck takes it into the zone, and the shot just misses far side corner. Cieslak with the puck, leaves it back over for Beck. Beck looking for an angle, but it's deflected and blocked by number 21, A.J. Harris.
There was a sequence where Brenner on the far side had the puck on his stick. Coffey lost his stick, the goaltender, and Brenner opted to shoot high. Easy to say from up here, but had he noticed the goalie was without a stick, you might look to shoot low.
And with 30 seconds remaining in the power play, Coffey holds the puck back behind for Makito. Makito, the freshman defenseman, sets up in position in front of Coach Ott's Regis bench. 16 seconds to go in the power play as Regis breaks it out over on the near side, and Damrith with speed takes it into the zone, shrugs off Carter Charles's check as puck is poked back over, and Maddox Charles, the ever-present Maddox Charles, sends the puck, and Valor's back to full strength. Campbell looking for the pass, bounces off his stick, and Regis is able to send it the distance. We've got an icing call. So Valor has killed off 4 penalties thus far, and they are back to full strength, and now they have an offensive zone faceoff with 3:20 remaining in this second period.
Just keeping an eye on Coach Ott, and he was talking to the officials, and I think he felt that puck skipped right through Maddox Charles where he could have played it, didn't, and that resulted in the icing. And again, you don't win those discussions, but you have them anyway, and icing was the call as play continues here in the second.
Chen reads that play, picks it off, puts it in deep, and Chen along the half boards trying to hold it in. Brock Benson there. Benson working along the half boards. Escapes his pass over to the far side, intercepted by Williams. Up, not out. Valor keeps the pressure on. Jenkins tracks it down along the half boards, finds a man on the far side. It's Lagwood. His shot is blocked by Williams, who went down low. Meanwhile, the pass right in front. Benson unable to get good wood on it, and Regis breaks it out as Chen defends. Brenner takes it into the zone. Brenner looking for the trailer. Here's a shot, and what a play by Galushko as Galushko goes down and sacrifices the body for that one. He'll have a welt tomorrow from that. Meanwhile, Beck with the puck, stashes it back below the line, looking for the pass, back up high. Dameron with a punch shot, not one. Looks for the rebound, unable to. Osgood sweeps it back. Ladwig's got it. And Lagwig sends it the distance, just wide. Icing is coming back to our right-hand side.
Really good effort there by Damarath. He wears number 9 for Regis as he just tried to one-time that puck in on goal. Look at our fans here at an attendance of this state championship game. And I think, Manny, when they set these up, they sort of hope to fill the west side as much as they can. Well, it's starting to wrap around both ends. Just a really good crowd here for this championship game.
And the vocal Regis crowd in the second period right next to Trudeau Coffee's cage as Harris battling for the puck back behind the line, moves it back over to the far side. Stepping in from his deep position is Kornmesser. Kornmesser, the defenseman out there, number 6. I don't think we've mentioned his name thus far here, and it's good to see that everybody getting into the action here. As Damarath with the puck tried to feed it back over to Kornmesser. The puck comes back up to the point. Carter Charles swing pass is off a Regis blade, and Damarath settles. Damarath with a long pass beyond the reach of Sorensen, all the way back to Campbell. Campbell sets up behind Coffey as Sorensen smokes him out. And over on the far side, a fluttering pass is picked off. Cieslak with the puck, watched by Carter Charles. Spins away, sends it back up to the point, but it just escapes the zone as Regis tags up, and Paranjapi with a pass right on the mark. Cieslak with a shot. Campbell with another block, and Paranjapi recovers it just outside of the Valor zone. Puck is picked up, and Peterson sweeps it back in. Coffey leaves it there. Fisher's got it. Fisher leaves it back over for Carter Charles. Fisher with the puck as he's surrounded, gives it back over as he pool cues it to Carter Charles. Held up there as Barnes lends a hand as Regis has Valor hemmed into their zone right now. Valor having trouble with the breakout. Carter Charles moves it back up off the blade of Maddox Charles, unable to control, and here comes Regis. Ian Beck into the zone, poke checked off his blade, and the fluttering puck we've got an offsides and a whistle with 25.9 seconds to go in this second period. 1-0 Regis.
Regis leading in shots on goal, 24-19, leading on the scoreboard 1-0. Shots were all tied up at one point, 11-11 in this game. Regis has taken a little bit of an advantage in the shot statistic.
They've had 2 power plays this period. Valor has not had a power play, and that explains a little bit of it there, as you've got that man advantage. A man goes down, whistle stay in the pockets. Ladwig with a shot, a big rebound. Here's a drive as that one went off a boot, as Ethan Jordan at the buzzer had a final opportunity. And that slap shot is ricocheted up and out after 2 periods. It is 1-0 Regis on Reece Peterson's second period goal, and that's where we stand. We've got 17 minutes to go, and Charlie, we wouldn't have expected anything different than this, but a tight game like this, it's a 1-goal game. We've got 17 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's championship hockey at its best. It's absolutely how you would script it, and you probably expect it to be a 1-goal game in the end. I'm a little bit surprised that there is only 1 goal on the board only because of the number of great chances that each team have had throughout this game. Breakaways on each side, penalty shot, a lot of good scoring chances, and yet only one has found the back of the net thus far.
That's right. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and when we come back, we're going to have the athletic director of Valor, Keith Wahl. He is a longtime veteran of Valor, and so we look forward to having him on next. We'll be back in 2 minutes. This is Manny Furtado and Charlie Host on the Shaw Hockey Network. We'll be right back. Stay with us. And welcome back to Magness Arena for the CHSAA 5A Hockey Championship game. It is 1-0 Regis after 2. I'm Manny Furtado along with Charlie Host, and we're joined here by Keith Wahl, the athletic director for Valor Christian. Keith, welcome to the booth. Glad to have you. Thanks for taking the time.
What an honor. Thanks so much for having me.
So, Keith, you're a longtime Valor.
I am.
You've been there since, what, day one?
Day one.
Day one.
Yep.
And we were talking a little bit earlier about the Valor hockey program. What do you remember about those early days?
Well, the early days were bleak in a lot of ways. We actually we had our first run that was pretty good under Coach Paul. Was great. He was awesome for us. And then we had a coaching change, and we had a couple years there where we weren't sure whether or not we'd be able to maintain the program. And then we have this gentleman, I don't know if you heard of him, named George Gwozdecky, who came in and has resuscitated this thing and brought it to the level that it is.
And, of course, George Gwozdecky with 42 years of coaching experience, not only at the college level but also at the pro level. What does a man like that bring to your program?
Well, I think the coolest part is what he brings to our department. He brings a levity, a wisdom, a joy every single day, and that's the thing that I most appreciate about him.
Well, the professionalism, and we have Charlie Host here. Charlie, you have a little experience with Coach Gwoz. I mean, talk about that and how that impacts a young man's life, whether you're at the college level or whether you're at the high school level.
Yeah, I've made this comment publicly numerous times where I played for George 3 years here at the University of Denver. My sophomore through senior years was his first 3 years as head coach here with the Pioneers, and he's easily one of the top 5, most influential people that's ever touched my life outside of my family and my parents and those type of folks. And I think, Keith, I'm sure you see it, obviously, not only what these players are doing on the ice, but his expectation of them off of the ice and how they conduct themselves and how you just do the smallest details with the utmost professionalism, the utmost respect. I think that's likely what you see him bringing to the program and essentially your department.
Absolutely. And, one of the things you said, top 5, a lot of times we'll talk about the top 4, our Mount Rushmore. Who are our Mount Rushmore of our most influential coaches in our own lives, and how can we be that for the young people that we're influencing? So it sounds like he is a Mount Rushmore guy for you,
no
which
question.
is cool.
No question at all.
Yeah. Keith, what a program that Valor has built as far as athletics. Athletics top to bottom in so many different arenas. Talk a little bit about how you've been able to build that, and how do you maintain that excellence?
Well, first of all, you have to give all praise and honor to the Lord Jesus Christ, because when you stop and think about the fact that we're only 17 years old, and we've been able to already, in those 17 years, we're in the top 10 in the history of the state of Colorado in state championships, which is just an extraordinary figure, especially when you stop and think we're only 1,150 kids, and we're the smallest 5A out of any one of these people these programs that we're competing against. Again, it's hard to sit here and go, yep, let me point to us. Let me point to what we're doing. It's all to God be the glory in everything that we do.
Well, that is a common theme. We talked about that. We talked about that with Todd Schuler as well.
Todd's a great dude.
And we talked about the fact that you guys have mutual respect for each other at the top level,
absolutely,
at the coach level, at the player level. It works. It permeates its way down, and I appreciate you saying that, because that is absolutely the truth. But let's go back to Valor and having some excellent players. Now, you had a player in a Super Bowl this year, and let's just talk about some of these ex-Valor players and where they're now.
Yeah, you stop and think about Christian McCaffrey, who played in the Super Bowl. Obviously, a lot of fun watching him continue to grow and develop. Then you talk about Wyndham Clark, who won the U.S. Open last year, who's one of our alums. And then just a few years ago, we had Janine Becky win the gold medal for the Canadian national team in girls soccer. And you just sit there and go, who opens a school and has that kind of blessing upon it? And again, it's to God be the glory and his favor upon us. But what an amazing thing to be a part of.
It really is. Talk about some of the facilities and some of the initiatives maybe that you have going on at Valor.
Yeah, we actually just we're nearly a full revamp of all of our turf facilities. We were really one of the first schools, even first facilities to have turf all across our campus when we first opened, and we just redid a bunch of those. We've got a track that needs to get done, but one of the coolest things that you'll see on our campus are the scoreboards. So you go into the gym, you see the big scoreboards, a little better than what you even have at the University of Denver here. No offense to the Pioneers, but I like our scoreboards a little better, and then our massive scoreboard on the football field, which just allows us to have the level of corporate sponsorship and the level of really fun. You guys got to continue to take a look at our social media team. Some of the things that they produce that end up getting up on those scoreboards is just extraordinary. So
I've experienced it. Boogie Media put together my favorite. One of my favorite Instagram posts was the championship
from last year.
And the one that versus Fort Collins.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, sir. And Ryan Kaiser and Jamison Charles scores that game-winning goal.
Yes.
And that was right on that. So anyway, your social media is my favorite as well.
Oh, I love it. Good.
So,
I hope you got to see the preview coming into today, because that was a great piece by Boogie.
I have not seen it, so we'll have to check that out. But it's always been excellence, whether it's athletics, whether it is the theater.
Mm-hmm.
So many of the activities that Valor has, much like Regis, is at a very, very high level.
Absolutely. And we talk about excellence in all things. We talk about excellence in academics, athletics, and arts, and then in discovery. That's one of our really kind of it's one of the most extraordinary programs you'll see at any Christian school, where kids are going out to countries all across the world. 13 of them headed to other countries and service projects during the course of just spring break alone, and then they unleash them in the summer to go all over the world, which is pretty amazing.
Really amazing. And maybe just walk us through some of those programs, some of the things that the kids are doing, because one of the things we talked about is, just fans watching these student athletes and what they do. Not only do they play and they play at a high level, and then they are student athletes. The student comes first, so they have high expectations in the classroom, and then their community involvement as well. It's just, I don't know that everyone out there necessarily understands the commitment that these athletes make in all facets of life to be able to play at this high level and then do the other things that they do as well.
Yeah, I'll just hit on Discovery. I mean, we do, obviously, everybody knows what a high-level school looks like, but that Discovery I'll hit on again.
Yeah.
You know, I've got 2 kids who are at Valor now too, so I've been there from the beginning, but now I'm a client as well, and that's a pretty cool thing. But my daughter gets a chance to go to Cambodia. My son's going to South Africa. Our baseball team is going to the Dominican Republic. But again, we got 30 some of these teams where all these kids get a chance to choose and apply and say, okay, I want to go try to make a difference in this area. I want to experience this area. And it's just an extraordinary thing that they get a chance to go live and serve in all those communities across the world.
Well, and to be able to do that at a young age, I mean, I think for all of us, we get in our bubbles, we get in our small worlds, and all of a sudden you go to Cambodia or you go to all these different places around the world. You get a real sense of probably self and perspective in this world, and for your student athletes and students to be able to do that at a young age is really an incredible experience for them, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's an extraordinary thing, just all the things that we have the opportunity to provide our young people at Valor.
All right, Keith, we're under a minute before we start the third period. The teams are about ready to come back onto the ice. Now, we had Todd Schuler on in between second period. Now, I know you don't have the benefit of hearing that interview,
right?
But you get last change here. You're wearing the white sweater today, so unlike Coach Gwozdecky, you have last change. Give us your final thoughts on what's going to happen in the last 17 minutes of this game.
If we handle the puck a little bit better, I see 2 goals going on for the Eagles here in the end. So,
all right, we've got your quote. That's good. Thank you very much, Keith. Thank you for joining us.
Keith,
we appreciate your time.
Appreciate the time.
And we will be back in just a minute for the drop of the puck in the third period. 1-0 Regis leads, and we'll be back for the final 17 minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back to Magness Arena for the State 5A Hockey Championship. We've got a third period in front of us here as the Valor fans are bopping over on the far side. As they are jumping, they've got the large V pressed up against the glass. And Charlie, you look at this contest, and these two teams scored a lot of goals this year. These two teams average, both of them, virtually the same amount. I mean, Valor averaged 4.38 goals per game. Regis just behind them at 4.33, and neither team gave up a lot of goals. And so they were giving up less than 2 goals a game each. And here we have a 1-0 game going into this third period.
And again, I said it a little bit right at the end of that second period. I am a bit surprised that it's only been one goal on the board, just based on the amount of quality scoring chances that both teams have had through the first 34 minutes of play.
Cieslak versus Jenkins, and the puck is down on a fresh sheet of ice as we are underway in this third period as Trudeau Coffey gently moves the puck over to the far side, and the puck is picked off by Regis and moved back up to the point. And it's shoveled in off a backhand pitchfork into the corner. Jenkins one more time as Galushko glances over the shoulder, looks to get that puck out, but Regis one more time bats it in. Regis gets partial line change. Valor is content, back behind the cage and fanning on that and losing the puck. Mark Ladwig, this ice might be a little bit wet still as the puck is scooped up and picked up by Chen. He's able to get it out of the zone and brought back in. Thought it was an offsides, and it should have been, and there's the late whistle.
I think the official anticipated that puck coming out of the zone because Valor had it on their tape, and then at the last minute, that puck changed directions again, and he was ready to call the delayed offside. I think just didn't anticipate or expect it to happen. That was the reason for the slight delay on the whistle.
And so Carter Charles pokes it ahead and lifts the stick. Loose puck in front and picking it back up and turned aside by Sparks. Carter Charles hustling over on the far side. He was looking for his brother from the point. Colton Campbell shot a low roller, scooped up shortstop style as Sparks has it.
Obviously, a ton of time left in this hockey game, but I think when either team has a quality scoring chance, you don't want to make the extra pass. You want to get everything on net, force goalies to make saves, get bodies to the net, as both goalies have proven they're playing very well throughout this game.
As the puck over on the far side and developing, bringing it in is Williams, and Williams is slammed into by Ethan Jordan. Jordan makes a big check as he cancels him. Williams back with the puck, tries to get it past as Jordan goes down low. Puck comes back up to the point. The shot dribbling in, and it's cleared the length of the ice on Sparks' cage. He's got to scramble and hold as Maddox Charles hustling forces a offensive zone faceoff.
Coach Ott waiting for Valor to send their personnel out on the ice and then looking to counter. Third line out there.
As we've got Cole Tallis along with Harris, and they've got Lucas Scott out there instead of Landon Green at that right wing. And tries to battle forward along the half boards and gets back into defensive position as Damreth fans on it, moving it over to the far side. Collision of bodies there as Warrod is there for Regis as well. Meanwhile, the puck into the Zam corner, picked up by Warrett. Warrett moves it over to Sorensen on the half boards, picked back up by Tallis. Tallis puts it back below Sparks' cage, rolls over to the near side, and Damreth tries to shovel it up the left wing boards. Osgood is there. Osgood battling his man as Mikito, the big defenseman, puts a shoulder into his man. Damreth comes away with the puck as he pries it free and spins it back over to the far side as Valor's forecheck here has got Regis captured in their zone. Damreth this time puts some muscle on it, up and not out. Tallis one more time, banks it over to the far side. Puck is put back in by Scott. He goes for a line change, and finally Damreth has some relief as he sends a long pass picked off by Jenkins, who taps it. He's got the puck on his blade as he turns aside, spins it back over to Brock Benson. Benson has some open ice. He'll take the zone and takes it down to the right-hand side, and there's that shot from a sharp angle. Jenkins again rolls it around to the near side and looking over his shoulder, picking the puck back up. Peterson tried to move it up, unable to get it up and out. Perrin Joppi with one hand on the stick. Benson pins him up against the boards. Jenkins with a shot as it glances off Sparks' glove. Sparks looking left to right. He's under siege at this point. And a check back below the line. Picked back up as Kornmesser tries to move the puck off of, and Perrin Joppi was chased down by Jenkins. Jenkins on a mission.
Well, really good stretch here by the Eagles, and it started with that third line, which Coach Gwozdecky changed up a little bit. That group of Tallis along with Harrison, he moved Lucas Scott to that line. They got it started.
Ladwig with a shot, and the save as it was fought off by Sparks. That rising wrister caught Sparks up high, but Sparks makes the save. Puck back over to the near side, and the puck is poked back out to center by Nolan Williams. Galushko gives chase. Williams bears down. Chen with the puck on the near side, almost loses it there. And a good forecheck by Regis keeps Valor hemmed into their zone. Cross ice feed back over to the far side. The drive, a shot, and a rebound as it came off. That came off the stick of Crowell. Meanwhile, the puck into the near side corner, and a four-man battle for it there. Regis comes away with the puck, and the captain, Ian Beck, with a spinning wrister, goes up and over the cage. Crowell sends it back over to the near side as it rolls around the end boards and up the right wing boards. Valor needs relief and sends the fluttering puck the distance. We've got an icing call, 12:22 to go, 1-goal game. Regis leads 1-0.
First two periods, a lot more end-to-end action, a lot more play and transition. This period so far, Valor held Regis in their end, and now Regis doing the same to Valor. And you got to think to yourself, some of that might be due to some heavy legs on each side.
Cieslak wins that faceoff. Puck comes out of the zone, and again, a late whistle. He was holding it up there. How big is the next goal, Charlie?
Well, it's huge. Absolutely huge. For Valor, you just want to solve Sparks and get one on the board. And once you get one, you kind of feel like maybe you could get rolling. And on the other side for Regis, obviously, if they could get two, and the way they're playing defensively and the way their goalie's playing right now, that would be a big, big lead at this stage of the hockey game. I also think, Manny, when Valor has a clear look to shoot, it seems they're going high as much as they can, that they want to try and shoot upstairs possibly to find an opening.
And on the ice right now is Cieslak's line. Cieslak looking for the puck. He's dangerous. He had 10 goals this season. And he's out there with Edison Barnes. Cieslak with the puck. Takes it into the zone, sends a flyer in. Coffey looking for it, finds it in his lap.
Kind of knuckled in on Coffey a little bit, and he wasn't real sure that he was able to glove it, but ultimately does and holds on for the faceoff.
Coffey came in with a .958 save percentage as he split duty with Cooper Robinson. And big number 33 has kept Valor in this, making some key stops here to keep it a 1-goal game. As the puck is down and looking for it, Valor is able to wedge it back out to center. Paranjapi taps it over to the far side. Harris races in, and Dylan Paranjapi moves it back over to the near side, trying to hold the line. Makita was there stepping in, and you see the defenseman of Valor stepping in to try and keep those plays versus staying at the blue line.
The other guy, Manny, pardon me, that's been very impressive is Dylan Paranjapi, the defenseman for Regis. And obviously Regis fans have been watching him all season long, but when he gets the puck on his stick, there's just a calmness and a poise to him where he takes time as needed.
As Galushko lets a flyer go, that goes over the knob of Sparks. Galushko chases down the puck and battling for it back below the line. Ian Beck is there from his center position. Jenkins drags it to the slot, and the loose puck coming back up with it is Maddox Charles. Tries to softly put it back behind Paranjapi. The puck is sent back up to Ladwig. Ladwig one more time steps in from his deep position and keeps the puck alive on the half boards as he was battling Nolan Williams. Puck all the way down, and Coffey will watch it roll by for a icing call there. And Valor gets another offensive zone faceoff and another chance to change up their lines.
Hockey's such a game of momentum, and the contrast of this period versus the first two has been very noticeable in terms of much more in-zone play and team's just looking to make safe plays, and if you have to ice it, and don't allow the other team any good scoring chances or long zone, in-zone chances to tire your team out.
As Valor looking for the pokes it in is Carter Charles, and Hirschfield gives chase but can't come up with the puck as Regis is able to send it the distance. Coffey recognizing there's no icing, hands it off to Maddox Charles, sidesteps Barnes, and Maddox Charles taking matters into his own hands, takes it into the zone, squares up, takes it into his backhand, looking for a man in the middle. Charles circling all the way to the top side and almost losing it there. He's able to get it back over to Fisher. Fisher puts it down low, and the pass tapped back down, and Regis is able to re-secure it, and coming away with it is Peterson. Peterson down the left-hand side as his shot couldn't really get it off his stick, and over on the far side he takes a heavy check. Coming in to scoop up the puck is Ethan Jordan. Banks it off the near side boards. Coming away with it is Hirschfield. Hirschfield taken off the puck, glanced off the glass, and picked back up by Carter Charles. He's chased by a matching 16, Warrett. Puck is skimmed back over to the far side. Maddox Charles with it. And the long pass right on the blade of Chen. Chen steps up. Chen with a shot and a save by Sparks. Net is off the moorings as a body goes into it hard. Chen, what an opportunity. Sparks comes up big again.
Chen streaking down the right wing. He's a defenseman, but able to receive that pass, which put him into the clear, and he opts to shoot, looks to go 5-hole. Sparks able to make the save.
Sparks has been terrific, stopping breakaway after breakaway here. And what a pass by Maddox Charles. He just put it on a platter, sauced it cross ice. Meanwhile, Colton Campbell takes a shot. That one's deadened by his stick. Puck is picked back up by Tallis. Tallis protecting it, moves it back over, looking for Harris in the middle. Colton Campbell again with it, back over to Ladwig from the dot, and another going back down low. Sacrificing the body was Fate, number 11 for Regis. Puck over on the far side, shoveled back in by Lucas Scott, held on by Sparks. We've got a whistle, 8:39 to go in this third period, 1-goal game.
Well, I think Sparks recognizes as well, every now and then, if you get a chance to cover it up, slow things down, allow your team to reset defensively, go ahead and hang on to that puck, as he opted to do there.
And the student section of Regis is as good as you will get in college hockey. That's pretty good. By the way, Colton Campbell had to step back up on the ice. He didn't get that final change. So Campbell's up, and off the face-off, Regis controlling, moving the puck over to the near side, back out to center, tapped up, and in stride, taking the puck into the Valor zone, aiming for the far side of the cage. Ian Beck was on it. Galushko tries to tap it ahead. Beck touches up. It's offsides. We've got a whistle there. Down to 8:21 as the tension mounts. Every minute passing is one more minute that Regis has eclipsed off that clock in seeking their 7th state high school championship. Off the face-off, Benson gets tied up with Williams. Ladwig with the puck. Benson moves it back over and a giveaway. Walking in, here comes Brenner, as Brenner is sandwiched between a couple of Valor players. The shot off the end boards. Brenner looking for it. Lagwood does his job, and Galushko comes away with the puck and hoists a backhander back out as the rolling puck dies at the Regis goal line. And a little frustration there from Jenkins. And Jenkins gets a little pat on the back from Brock Benson. We're under 8 minutes, 7:55 to go. The Regis crowd has come alive.
Well, they can sense it, and that play there by Benson, you can sense a little bit of the frustration leaking in on the Valor team as well, just in terms of not being able to get a goal on the board as of yet.
as Carter Charles looking for that puck, but he's surrounded by red. And Vinny Cieslak moves the puck back over to the far side, and breaking in is Edison Barnes. Barnes watched closely by Fisher. Puck is moved back over to the near side, and the puck held in by Cieslak. The loose puck looking for it, poking it free, and the long pass back over to the far side. Hirschfield couldn't come up with it. Another bank pass, and Regis is happy to play in the neutral zone here and keep Valor away from Sparks' cage. As the loose puck comes back over, Fisher taps it ahead, and one more time, puck is picked up, fanning on it there, Crowell. Maddox Charles finds his brother, Carter Charles. Carter Charles takes it down into the far side corner, tries to get a shot off right in front, and a good play by Sorensen. Sorensen comes away with the puck as he's got Lorenzo with him. The shot and a save, and held on by Trudeau Coffey.
Good deception there by Sorensen. Left-handed shot, so his stick is in the middle of the ice as he comes down the right wing, and he's kind of looking middle as though he's thinking pass, but he opts to get that puck in on Coffey, and Coffey alertly there to make the save, and good job by Coffey not to cheat and think pass first.
Chen one more time streaking into the offensive zone, looks for the trailer, but the pass banks out back to center, and Ladwig will do it again as he sends it in, and it ricochets in on Sparks. Sparks leaves it there for Damrith, keeps the clock moving. Puck over into the far side corner. Damrith's got it again as he settles the rolling puck. Banks it off the boards, looking for Osgood. Tallis is there. Tallis gives it away with a backhand feed, and the bouncing puck is back into the Valor zone as Valor tries to get that pass off, sending it to center. Sent right back in, and you see the quick line changes as Kornmesser heads off the ice for Coach Terry. Terry Ott manning the bench here for this Regis squad. He's got 5:44 to go in this third period and a 1-goal lead. The long pass misses the mark, comes all the way down. Campbell touches up, whistle. And so for Coach Gwozdecky, he's got Jenkins' line out there. This line accounted for 44% of their goals. 35 goals this season.
I believe there might be a delayed penalty here on Valor for too many men on the ice.
And it is, so Lucas Scott will serve the penalty.
I missed it. By the time Valor had touched up the puck, I only counted 5 players on the ice, but there must have been a sequence in the line change where they had 6. So an inopportune time, obviously, for a bench minor, too many men on the ice call against Valor. Regis on the power play, a 1-goal lead in 5:36 remains in regulation.
And here we go, setting you back up. Brenner slides it back over to the far side, looking for a man in the middle. Nolan Williams almost got a stick on it, tapped down and held in. The pass over to the far side, Osgood sweep shot, and Osgood taken into the corner boards, no whistle. Play continues, puck comes back over to Brenner. Brenner from the dot, a toe save by Coffey, and a dandy at that. Puck is settled back up by Paranjapi over on the far side. Nolan Williams stripped off his stick, and Jenkins with a drive clears the zone. 1:23 to go in the power play. 4:55 to go in the third period. Regis takes it into the zone, and on the far side, the pass right off of Osgood's boot. Puck comes back up to Brenner. Brenner's able to put it back down low and ahead of the play. And what a play once again. Paranjapi comes up big for Coach Ott. Chen with the puck, and 59 seconds remaining in the power play, sends the fluttering puck that dies behind Sparks' cage. Paranjapi sets up shop. Maddox Charles watches. Chen behind him. Here comes Lorenzo. Lorenzo works his way through center, slides it around the dasher board. Coffey stops it, and a and a puck battle back behind as Barnes is there. The puck is rifled off the dasher boards and goes the distance. So with 27 seconds remaining in the power play, Maddox Charles rushes in. He's got a couple of shorthanded goals this season. He would like nothing more than to get one here, and his team needs it. Ladwig with the puck. He's unable to get it in deep. Puck is moved back by Barnes and ragging time off with 9 seconds remaining in the power play. Regis to the chant of the crowd back behind him, and it's poked back by Lorenzo. Lorenzo with a pass right in front as he had a man streaking. That was Gregory with an opportunity. And Valor is back to full strength with 3:23 to go in this third period, trailing by a goal. Fluttering puck. Gregory, the senior, puts it back along the half boards. Pass right in front, looking for Warrot. Moves it back up to Perenjapi. Walks it off the wall. Coffey's got it in the glove. 3:09 to go. 1-goal game.
That's a big stop there by Coffey, and important to get a face-off so Valor can reset after that penalty kill. And now quickly the clock is becoming absolutely a factor. We're down to 3:09 remaining, and every time Regis gets it, they're just sending it in deep below the goal line in the Valor end.
And continuing to battle in the corner. We saw that in the first period. And the puck back over to the far side. A.J. Harris has it, takes a swing pass back through middle. Perenjapi back behind Coffey's cage, and Fisher's got it. Fisher puts it up the left wing boards, unable to get the puck up and out of the zone is Valor. A.J. Harris takes a swing at it, but the puck from the right point put right back. Harris has it. Harris glances it off the boards. Perenjapi hustling back, and Perenjapi turns the corner, takes it back up through center. Perenjapi from east-west moves the puck back over to the far side, and the puck is sitting back behind the Valor player. Meanwhile, on the near side, Landon Green taking off the puck. Galushko's there. Puck comes back up to Lorenzo. Slides it back over to the right dot, and the shot by Perenjapi was deflected. Cole Tallis one more time with the puck, looking for Galushko. Galushko couldn't get the stick on it. We're down to 2 minutes and counting. Coffey with the puck. Valor needs a goal. Regis putting the pressure on. And the long pass coming back over and just missing Landon Green. Green goes off for a line change. We've got an icing call, and Gwozdecky, I believe, is going to take a timeout. Charlie, you've been on both benches in your career. What is Coach Ott gathering the troops in, and what is he telling that group?
Well, Coach Ott has to be preparing his players for the goalie to be pulled as soon as that puck crosses the red line and gets in deep, and how he wants his personnel to defend a 6-on-5, because certainly that's what you're going to be looking at. And I think for Coach Gwozdecky and Valor, it's not ideal to take your timeout when the face-off is in your defensive zone, because you'd rather be drawing up a play to create a scoring chance off of an offensive zone face-off. But with 1:49 to go, you're never quite sure how much time will run off the clock, and if you get a chance to call that timeout and sort of draw up a play. The other factor is, on both sides, they're looking to get their key guys some much needed rest, so they're ready to go for the final minute and 49 of this game.
And we saw that on both sides. We saw Warrett's line out there, along with Osgood and Sorensen, Gregory out there. The top two lines are gassed on both sides, because we saw Tallis, we saw Landon Green, Lucas Scott. We saw some players that we hadn't seen much play, and here we are in the final 2 minutes of this game. And you've now, George Gwozdecky's able to take that timeout, get his lineup, and let's see how Coach Terry Ott counters as Ott brings on Cieslak, as Cieslak has been going up against Jenkins all night long. Here's the big face-off, and we'll do it again as Cieslak tied him up. Jenkins, one of the top centermen and face-off, but Galushko wins this one back, and Lagwood's got it. Lagwood has Benson ahead of him, tries to go straight up the ice, and that's going to go for an icing call, so Valor's got to win another face-off.
And they won that one clean. They had possession, which is absolutely what you want to do. And then from the Eagles' perspective, you just got to get it deep. You got to get it deep into the Regis zone, get bodies on it, allow your goalie to get out of the net.
Well, Jenkins steps back in and he wins this face-off. Puck is back over to Galushko, and Galushko, with patience, takes it out of the zone with 1:33 as Trudeau Coffey goes to the bench and Cole Tallis is on the ice. Puck back over to Jenkins, the giveaway. Peterson's got it. Peterson taps it ahead, and Brock Benson with some speed gets back.
They just do call the icing. That one was oh so close. That puck was rolling toward the end line, and given chase was Benson for Valor, and he nearly got there before it got to the end line, but the official right on the call blows the whistle. Minute 17 to go. And now again, here we are with the line changes. Valor able to keep their goalie out of the net. 6-on-5, minute 17 to go.
Hirschfield off the faceoff, won by Beck. Back into the far side, and puck is picked up by Maddox Charles. Charles, a spinning shot. Puck is back behind Sparks. In the slot, cleared out. Another shot by Chan. Chan battling with a matching four. Williams wins the battle. Open net! Goal! Brenner scores the empty netter. Regis erupts. 57 seconds remaining in this contest.
Valor had the setup they wanted. They had their goaltender pulled, had the puck in the offensive zone, and were looking to generate a scoring chance, and they did for a moment. There was a scramble in front of Sparks. The puck was loose. Valor just unable to get a handle on it. It came out to the blue line, and Regis able to tip it ahead, and Brenner gets the empty net goal, 2-0.
And the final 43 seconds as Coach Gwozdecky has the goalie pulled. 6-on-5 one more time as the puck is tapped back down by A.J. Harris as the Regis crowd continues to chant as they bop over to the far side. Here comes Brock Benson. 25 seconds to go. Takes it into the Regis zone. And Brock Benson fires and scores! Brock Benson draws Valor to within one. Benson, what an individual effort. Benson takes it through center and snipes and finally solves Sparks.
That was an absolute rocket. Benson able to come in on the left side, cut across. We saw this play early in the first where he cut across to his forehand. This time he's able to go high glove and beat Sparks. 19 seconds remaining, and Valor now down
Without a timeout. And Coach Gwozdecky moving everybody forward. Galushko sends it over to Jenkins. Jenkins along with Maddox. Jenkins battling for the puck along the half boards. Galushko gloves it down, swipes at it. The loose puck. This is going to do it. Regis with a shot as Ian Beck takes a slapper and sends it into the back of the net. Regis leads 3-1 with 2 empty net goals. 1 second remaining.
Well, and for Regis, very fitting that it's Ian Beck, their senior, who gets that empty net goal, and he put it in with authority. and Regis will go on to win the state championship in Colorado for 2024.
And there is the buzzer as Sparks awaits his team. Sparks celebrating as he is mobbed by the Regis team. Regis is the 5A state champions as Easton Sparks, the true freshman, wins it in goal for Regis as Regis celebrates with student body right. What a scene. Regis winning their 7th state championship defeats their arch rival Valor 3-1. And Regis celebrating with the entire student body dressed in white as Valor gathers around dejected. But what a game that we just witnessed here between these two hockey heavyweights. Regis celebrating as you see Brenner there, who got the empty net goal that seemingly would seal it, but Brock Benson, the senior, scores his 11th goal of the season. And to make the final 20 seconds that much more exciting as the championship trophy awaits Regis. Congratulations to head coach Terry Ott, Will Damereth, Brian Miller, Grant Woodley, and we should say a special shout out to Dan Woodley, who helped build this program and had Terry Ott with him for many of those years. Terry Ott, in his 19th season at Regis, wins the state championship. Terry Ott knew he had a good team. He was confident of it, and he certainly did. As Easton Sparks, along with Trudeau Coffey, and you see them there, the two goalies, and so many of these players played youth hockey together. And know each other very well after playing in the preseason tournament. You start out with that. You start out with the CPHL Fall League and then the CHSAA League. And to see Regis come away with a hard-fought victory as once again Regis wins their 7th state championship. They had not won since 2019. The drought is finally over as Regis was knocking on the door, and it seemingly every time it was Valor that had closed that door on Regis, but Regis finally gets over the hump. They win the state championship, and how sweet is that as both teams have a handshake at center ice, and there is Coach George Gwozdecky. We will wait. He's got Terry Ott at the end of the Regis line as Terry Ott shakes hands there with Cooper Robinson. And Coach Ott, along with Sean Capel, Adrian Wiedemann, Will Damereth, and there is George Gwozdecky and Terry Ott, and the two teams gather at center ice. The trophies can wait as the tradition of these two teams intermingled amongst each other. And Trudeau Coffey, I think, asked, could you turn down the music? Perhaps. So there is Trudeau Coffey along with Nolan Williams and Ian Beck. We'll pause. And as we had Athletic Director Keith Wahl on in between periods, and he said, you know, we give the glory to God And that is where these young men stand. And how refreshing is that to see these two teams battle each other, congratulate each other, and one team wins, one team loses, but they will never forget this moment. And we are going to have the presentation now of the Colorado State High School runner-up trophy as Mark Ladwig, along with Brock Benson. Brock Benson with that phenomenal effort at the end to score a goal. And it was just too little too late as Regis gets 2 empty net goals to cement this one away. And now the 5A championship trophy going to Ian Beck. Ian Beck will receive the trophy on behalf of his teammates and then turn around and share it with them. And Ian Beck holds it up, and there it is. The Regis Raiders surround their championship 5A hockey trophy. And what a trophy that is. Long awaited. None of these players were there in 2019, 5 years ago. Valor tasted this same victory on this same ice last year, but this year it was Regis's year. As Regis won this game, and the game-winning goal goes to Parker Brenner, who scores the empty net goal. And who would have thought that that would have been the game winner? You would have thought Reece Peterson's 1-0 goal, but Brock Benson made it interesting in the final half minute of this third period. And there you see Regis unfurling the championship banner, and what a great picture with all of the Regis student body behind, celebrating with their state championship hockey team. A great scene. And that picture will be all over social media here. And we're waiting a couple of on-ice interviews from Charlie Host. And what a game this was. It could have taken a turn a couple of times. In that first period, Maddox Charles with a penalty shot, 7 minutes into the game, and Easton Sparks denied him. And you put a marker on that, and we're going to go to the ice level now as we have Charlie Host along with George Gwozdecky. Charlie?
Live down here at ice level now with the head coach of the Valor Eagles, George Gwozdecky. And coach, a little bit of a full circle moment for me, I must admit, that after being a player for you, now being able to interview after this hard fought game. Take us through the game. Obviously a good game, both goalies played well, good chances by both teams on each side.
Well, Charlie, we could have used Charlie Host out there tonight. I think that our opponent was really good. They played, and their forecheck, especially in the second period, was outstanding, and was able to because of their forecheck, they were able to gain a lot of time in our offensive zone. Our defensemen got a little tired. We changed our check in the third period to see if we can get a little bit more zone time in their end, and it was effective. But by that time, they're sitting back, and Easton Sparks, I thought, really well in goal. We just weren't able to generate enough opportunity early in the game, and as a result, we were just kind of chasing it throughout the latter part of the game.
We know every season is a journey, and so take us through this team from beginning to this moment, and what your thoughts are on your group.
Well, when you get this far, certainly you're always disappointed not to win that last game, and I know our guys are. you know, as you said, this has been a long journey starting way back in August. And we've had some really good, successful experiences. You know, we won all season in the club season, so we are, in 2 weeks, we'll be facing off in the USA Hockey High School National Championships. You know, I think when I look back at last year and the tremendous team we had last year and the terrific players that we graduated, 13 seniors that graduated who all played meaningful roles on that team. And I think a lot of people, including probably yours truly, were wondering, okay, how competitive are we going to be this year? And I think certainly our goaltending was outstanding all year long, whether it was Trudeau Coffey tonight or Cooper Robinson. That has been our two-headed monster. They have been our leaders. We've been able to find offense from people like Maddox Charles and Carter Charles and Drew Jenkins and Danny Galushko. We're not as deep as a team as we were last year, but certainly we battle hard. I give Regis great credit because it's been a battle with us really for ever since I came on the scene. And their coaching staff, Dan Woodley, who retired a couple years ago, and Terry Ott, really helped me as a young rookie coach at the high school level, try to figure out what this game was all about. And I pay them a lot of tribute and thank them for all their help. It's great to be able to have, I think, and they realized that back 8 years ago, that to be able to have someone like Valor, perhaps, to be as competitive and be able to raise high school hockey to another level, I think it's great for the game. So they're a great champion. They played a really strong game tonight, and I'm happy for them.
Last one, I know you got to get to your guys. Just a quick comment about the state of high school hockey in Colorado.
Well, I think if you watched, throughout the CHSAA tournament, the playoffs, there's some terrific hockey played, some really exciting games, and you can tell by the amount of people who are following the game, whether it was during the semifinals tournament last weekend at South Suburban Sports Complex. Buildings packed, places loud, just great atmosphere. Tonight again, a good atmosphere for a championship game for both games. 4A and the 5A level. High school hockey has gotten so much better, even in the short time that I've been at Valor. So it's exciting to see the progress and the evolution. More and more schools sponsoring high school hockey. It's really fun to be part of this journey in Colorado.
Thanks again for the time, Coach. We'll let you get to your guys.
My pleasure. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you. We'll send it back to Manny.
And we're back for the as Regis continues to celebrate, as we have Coach Ott. He is surrounded by media right now, and Charlie Host is going to get over to the Regis side and grab a player or two to interview here as they're in the midst of celebrating with their fans. So what a day for Regis. We talked a little bit about the send-off that this hockey team got at Regis. All the other teams gave them a good send-off as they were getting on the bus and heading out, as Charlie Host is making his way back down low. He's talking to Grant Woodley right now. Of course, Dan Woodley's son. And we look to have Charlie Host. We're sending it back to Charlie on the ice. Take it away, Charlie.
Thank you, Manny. Down here at ice level again, Reece Peterson for Regis. Reece, just your thoughts.
I mean, I could not be prouder of the team. And the student section showed up for us, and I'm so glad we were able to show up for them. Just so happy that my last high school hockey game was a win.
You're a senior. You'll remember this moment, but you're also going to remember that first goal. Walk us through that one.
I mean, just great play, bounced out to me, and I just knew I had to capitalize. Great play from my teammates, though. Could not have done it without them.
Hard-fought battle. Regis, Valor, you've a lot of them. This is your third one of the year. Talk about your opponent.
I mean, Valor's always been a great team. I mean, the first time we played them, we were not ready to go, and they made sure we lost 4-1. But we made sure to come back the second game, took it back to them, won 3-1. And then this is probably the best game I've ever played in my life. Just could not be prouder to do it with them. and they always give us a good game. So I'm so glad we were able to pull out the win.
Congratulations on the championship. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's Reece Peterson. Again, he had the first goal. Manny, we'll send it back up to you. We'll try to get Easton Sparks here, and then Coach Terry Ott.
And we thought we had Reece Peterson had 2 goals in the matter of about 45 seconds, as he had 2. He was sprung on 2 breakaways, and we thought he might have been scoring his second, but we saw the replay, and in fact, it did go off the post and ricocheted out, as we had called it. I think everybody had thought, including Reece Peterson, had thought he had scored. So. What a bit of action, and I have to say thank you to Michael Shaw on camera. We also had Tom here this evening. They have brought all the Valor games, all of the Regis games, both varsity and JV games, to the parents, and have done just an amazing job. So Mike does a terrific job capturing all those replays. And so Charlie Host is going to have another interview, and I believe he's going to have Ian Beck. Ian Beck, the captain of this team, number 17. And Charlie's got Ian. He's a senior. And Charlie, we're going to send it back to you on the ice with Ian Beck, who had that insurance second empty net goal.
Thank you, Manny. Down here, ice left with the captain, Ian Beck. Ian, just walk us through this moment, your feelings.
I don't know, just pretty excited, you know. 1 for 4 is not too bad. People go 0 for 4, so I mean, it's pretty cool to win it here and this crowd. So I don't know, just pretty excited.
Not many teams win their last game of the season. Only one, as a matter of fact. So that has to feel pretty special.
Yeah, that was our goal going into the season. Just finish out, be the last team to win, and so here we are.
Talk about being captain of this group, just this team, the bond among the players on this team.
Just a great bunch of kids. I mean, I'd do anything for any of them. Like, there's not a kid on this team that I just don't love. Like, it's just, there's just such a brotherhood here, and I think it showed in that game. So, yeah, it was good.
Where does this moment rank in your hockey career up to this point?
Oh, it's got to be top, right? Yeah. Like, who gets to win high school state championship? Nobody. So here we are, and I mean, I don't really think anything beats this.
You made an emphatic slap shot on the empty netter, which, again, just, I'm sure some emotion in that, hey, goal accomplished.
No, to be honest, I wasn't really thinking. Like, that's just not who I am. I should have just, slid it in and been happy with that, but and at the end of the day, they had a great game, so I just thought I'd put it in to kind of finish them off, and there we are.
Talk about the rivalry with Valor. Everyone we talked to both the ADs, the Valor AD and the Regis AD, and they said, yeah, it's competitive, but at the end of the day, a lot of respect between these two programs.
Oh yeah, off the ice, I love those guys. Like, I spend every summer with them, working out, getting better and stuff, but on the ice, it's just a whole different story. Like, there's a little bit of hatred, but also a lot of respect for those guys. Like, they are a great team. That's the best team we play every year. So it's just good to finally, take home a banner for us.
Congratulations again, Ian. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thank you. That's Ian Beck. Manny, back up to you.
Ian Beck, one of the top players in Colorado this year, is again, he led this team in goals and points, and was just the heart and soul of this team. When you talk to the coaching staff, it started and stopped with Ian Beck, and he was all over the ice. He poked that puck, and he was able to spring Brenner on his goal, and what a play that he made as Charlie Host makes his way back down. And I know he'd like to get head coach Terry Ott. Terry Ott's in another interview right now, and so hopefully he'll be able to get him there. But Ian Beck, one more time, just going back to him, it's just he talks about that empty net goal, and perhaps he's been watching a little bit of the NHL. and the reaction that came after a slap shot and an empty net goal. But, you know, you've got the emotion coming, and that's okay. We're going to go back down to Charlie Host along with Easton Sparks. Charlie?
Hey, Manny, thank you. Down ice level with freshman goalie Easton Sparks. And Easton, just take us through your thoughts at this moment.
I'm so excited. I'm so glad I got it done with these guys. Relationship I had with them was like any other. Obviously, I had a great one with your team too when we played. We had some great bonds, but this one, going to school with everyone too, it was great. And I don't know what to feel. It hasn't set in yet. Still got all the adrenaline, but I'm so happy we got it done.
I have to ask you about the penalty shot because it's a key moment in the game, obviously, and there were some breakaway saves on both sides. Both goalies played great, but just your thought in that moment.
I was so scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was so scared. It was Maddox Charles, played with him growing up, and he's an unreal hockey player, one of the best I've ever seen, especially for how young he is. So I was truly so scared, but he came in and he got a little too close, and I was like, oh, I got this. So he got in too close, and I was like, confidence just went through the roof.
Your student body was unreal. Maybe just talk about the students, the fans here on the Regis side.
Oh, it was awesome. I made that first save, and they started chanting, he's a freshman, and it felt so good knowing that who even knows how many people here behind my back and supporting the guys. It was an unreal student section, and it was unreal to see them chanting and having a good time.
Well,
awesome.
Congratulations to you, Easton, state champion goalie. Congratulations. Go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We will try to get Terry out here, Manny, next, and we'll wrap things up down here, but we'll try and get Coach.
And what a great Easton Sparks, a freshman. I just love his honesty. I got to be honest, I was scared, you know. And he's got that many fans. You can just imagine the bank of fans staring at us across the way, looking down, watching this game, thousands of fans. And for a freshman to be playing in a state championship game and have that many fans cheering him on, and I love the chant. He's a freshman. He's a freshman. Almost taunting. But that's got to lift him up. We're going back to the ice. Charlie Host has head coach Terry Ott.
Thank you, Manny. Joined now by the winning head coach of Regis, Terry Ott, 2024 state champs. Your thoughts?
Man, it feels good. First I'd like to congratulate, Gwozdecky and Valor. The rivalry between Regis and Valor is one that's built on mutual respect, and we have so much respect for their players, the coaching staff, how they conduct themselves on and off the ice. And when you're doing that, both teams are trying to achieve excellence in that rivalry, and if we can outdo one another, that it's all about. And fortunately we came on top, but they had a great year, and hats off to them. But it feels really good. I can't say how proud I am of the group. They have done a great job to kind of reestablish a culture that we want to build in our program. Not that we haven't had the skill, but we haven't gotten back to this game since 2019. We've had some near misses. We seem to always be on the wrong side of the bracket and have to face Valor Christian in the semifinals and haven't been able to get over that hurdle. So it was nice to be on opposite sides this year. But these guys, they've reestablished what it is for us to be a team. Came together as a group, started building in the fall, but really after the first of the year, I really had a feeling that this group could do something special. The way that they seem to, the body language changed, the confidence changed, and from that point on, you could just see the momentum take off.
Great team effort. This game was in question throughout. It takes leadership, and you have some really good leadership in your group. Just talk about some of those seniors and what it meant and how they get to go out on top.
Well, Beck is our captain. He's played for me for 4 years. Started on the JV team as a freshman, scored the game-winning goal in the JV state championship as a freshman. But he's been a constant for our program. A real anchor for us. And you throw in, Dylan Paranjape, who on the back end, just a phenomenal skater, another great leader. Damrath is the guy that brings the heart, the effort, the grit, the grind. And then Edison Barnes, same thing, just a guy whose motor won't quit. And that leadership, and we have other guys obviously in the room. Reece, Reece has scored so many big goals for us, through the playoffs. But that group, they've just set the example. And hopefully now the younger guys can kind of see what that is and how that relates to success.
You certainly have a younger group, a core group to build on, and your goalie was pretty darn good today.
Oh, he was fantastic. He's been great all year, but I was a little worried when Valor Max Charles gets a penalty shot that early in the game, arguably their most gifted, finisher. But when he makes that save, it just raises the confidence in the bench, on the bench. His teammates, he's, for such a young kid, he's so he's a mature, he's an old soul. He's almost unflappable back there. He's just having fun, and he relaxes his teammates. Like, the confidence that they get when he's back there is huge.
We talked to George a little bit about the journey, about the program, about high school hockey in Colorado. You've been a part of Regis hockey a long, long time. 7th championship in the program's history. As you mentioned, it's been a while, but that whole road, maybe not even just the road of this team this season, but the road for the program.
Yeah. I mean, 19 years ago when I started with Coach Woodley at Regis, the landscape of high school hockey was so different. There weren't as many teams. The level of play wasn't nearly where it's at now. And so you grow with it, and we tried to play anybody that would play us to try and continue to develop the players. And how high school hockey has developed the fall prep season to try to mirror a club season, and more kids have decided to play high school hockey, and it's made such an impact on the growth of high school hockey, the number of teams and how competitive. It used to be, it was 4 or 5 teams and that was it. And now, there's 8, 9, 10 teams that have a chance every year. So it's really great to see. And for our team, hopefully, it reestablishes, us getting back here on a regular basis to this game.
Thank you for the time. We'll let you go enjoy it with your players. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
That's the head coach of Regis, Terry Ott. The Regis is the 2024 Colorado State High School Hockey Champions. Back to you, Manny.
Charlie, I can't say it any better. Regis came out tonight, and they were determined from start to finish here. They survived a penalty shot, and they were able to overcome that. And they get the leading goal by Peterson as Peterson put that up on the board, and ultimately it was Brenner's empty net goal that became the game-winning goal. So with that, we would like to say our thanks to Mike Shaw and Tom on the camera work, and we also have Michael Jr., I think, doing a little photography here. The third. So from Magness Arena, I'm Manny Furtado. Thanks for listening in. And final score, Regis 3, Valor 1, as Regis is 5A state champions once again for the 7th time. Good night. Be safe. Bye-bye.